It's time. It is that time. Time for Stiles and Watkins.
You can join the show by texting 916-339-1140. Find us on YouTube at Sactown Sports 1140.
It's time for Alan Stiles and Chris Watkins.
Yes. On a Monday, Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports 1140, taking up to 2 p.m. It's draft week.
Oh, yeah.
Nate Littlefield behind the glass for us today as we get you ready for the NBA draft with the number 13 pick. The Kings select maybe no one. Maybe they trade it. Maybe they keep it. We will break all of this down leading up to Wednesday, and then we will react to whatever happens on Wednesday. Speaking of Wednesday, come kick it with your boy at Public House. That's right. Alan Stiles. I will be at Public House. It will be a very fun affair. I really do love Public House, and it's funny because I used to go there a lot when Chris and I were doing the auditions, and I was living the bachelor life, jumping from hotel to hotel, couch surfing, but not really. Yeah, just a Papa was a Rolling Stone, and I would roll right into Public House. So it's kind of fitting that I will have an appearance there, and Chris might make an appearance. I have to massage the situation and
we gotta
get
check
Chris
security. And
exactly.
All that stuff.
I gotta talk to Chris and make it worth his while.
Right.
But either way, I will be there. Chris Verlade will be there. Nate will be there as well.
Just start peer pressuring.
That's right.
Going. Yeah.
That's right. It's just wow. You're really just gonna leave me, and I'm just trying to trying to do this for my family. You know what I mean? Family probably won't be there though, so we're gonna have a good time. Even though I would have a good time if they were there too. Anyway, Chris Watkins, fully loaded show like a baked potato. We have Kenny Atkinson to the Cavs. What does this mean for Jared Allen? As he is the big man whisperer, Kenny Atkinson. They're really hoping that he can take Mobley to the next level. We have a bunch of information coming to you from ESPN.com, the Kings offseason primer, the ESPN.com mock draft at 12. It's from ESPN.com. Will it be another guard? And speaking of guards,
hopefully those days are over.
The man, the myth, the legend himself, Jared McCain, was worked out by the Kings. And Chris, this happens on the heels and right around the same time as Malik. How does that make everybody feel now? Because Malik is staying.
Right.
And if there's one thing the Kings have a lot of, very similar to the Niners with wide receivers, they have a lot of guards. So what does that mean for the NBA draft as far as the Kings are concerned? And maybe they're just playing coy and playing some mind games there. Speaking of the Niners, we get into the grades from the offseason, the Raiders, and the Niners. So hopefully Raider fans won't yell at me today. Because I'm a ride for you, Raider fans. I'll tell you that much. And Nate's going to ride for his Niners. Chris Watkins, how you doing?
Good, man. Yeah, and all that stuff and more I'm excited to talk about. We have a lot on today's show, but you just reminded me of something that Draper called himself the LeBron James of the station the other day.
We got to find that.
We have to find that.
Yes.
We have to find that because we have to correct it.
Mm-hmm.
B, we have to find out what are we then? If he's the LeBron, if he's going to self-proclaim himself as the LeBron, which, by the way, is a very LeBron thing to do.
Yeah.
We have to think of what the show is, what us as individuals. Maybe we get the morning show guys in on it too.
Yeah.
But that we have to address that at some point.
Well, so
Curry and Clay.
Well, I just don't think Chris would sign up for that.
I'm taking Clay then.
You're about to leave. You're about to leave.
Vivian Weber.
A lot of details emerged from Klay Thompson in that situation. Really does seem like Klay's gone, and this is past the level of quote unquote disrespect. What are your thoughts on that situation? Because I'm gonna tell you right now, Chris, I don't think it's disrespectful. Klay, you got bagged out right after you tore your ACL, and you literally thanked the organization from this.
Yeah.
I think it comes down to, Chris, and look, we're not going to divulge everything, but there are relationships out there that may appear to be closer than they actually are, right? And relationships can change. I've always said in school, they need to talk about, when you break up with a significant other, there's so much information on how to handle that. But what about friendships, right? And this whole thing with Draymond Green coming out and during the exit presser talking about Klay. Klay got paid when he was injured. Apparently, Tim Kawakami and Anthony Slater on their pod came out and said that Klay didn't love that. So the way I'm looking at this, Chris, okay, so you're telling me that Klay Thompson is not thrilled with the initial offer, right? Is also not thrilled with what Draymond said.
Yep.
And in part, he's not thrilled with that offer because of the offer that Draymond Green said. I don't know how popping that group chat between the big three is right now.
Yeah, it might just be Big Me.
It might just be Steph, but Steph separately texting Clay and separately texting Draymond Green, because there's no way Draymond and Clay's relationship can be in a good spot right now.
No.
I don't see how that's possible.
No, and I mean, to kind of what you were hinting at earlier too, like I don't think that there's real friendship like those two don't really seem like they would be on the same vibe anyway
at all.
And so when there's any sort of like crack in that armor or friction between the two, like that's where Steph has to step in and try and be that middleman. But I don't know if that's really fixable, because I think Clay is somebody who's a really prideful guy. He doesn't talk a lot, but I think when he takes offense to something, he probably really takes it to heart. And it's not something he can just brush off. It feels to me like, it's just there's way too much smoke, and it seems like Clay's out the door, because we know that there's going to be tons of suitors out there for him. Orlando, obviously. I mean, maybe even Philadelphia. But it definitely seems like Clay, at the very least, it's not even about going to find a better situation. It's that he's not happy with the situation he's in, and he doesn't really see the respect that he feels like he deserves. And I think I fall more on your side of things, where I kind of think that Clay needs to understand this is a business, and they already kind of did you the favor back then.
Yeah.
In an ideal world, in a perfect world, sure, you can sell Clay and Steph jerseys until the day they're done. But, at the end of the day, you got to try and maximize Steph Curry's remaining career. And if they just wanted to, ride off into the sunset, they could trade him to Charlotte and let him cook over there and not win anything. But if they're going to keep Steph Curry, you have to try and win a title with him. Right. And I think if you bring back – it was already a stretch, I think, to bring back Draymond on the deal that they brought him back. You can't double down on that mistake and bring in Clay as well. I think you have to try and move on.
No, and if we put ourselves back into the past when the Warriors did pay Clay, he was due for that extension. Yeah. So there was no way. It kind of reminds me of, because I'm watching Clipped on Hulu, and it reminds me of the Adam Silver.
Nice.
It's turning more into I got my phone out.
Right.
And,
it's
infinite scrolling, and I'm checking in.
Crap on it.
I know.
It seems kind of interesting.
But the Adam Silver thing, everybody was praising Adam Silver. Wow, he dropped the hammer when he didn't really have a choice, right? I mean, it was the obvious thing to do to remove the whole situation, the owner at that time, because of the insensitive, racist remarks. So that had to be done, right? The Warriors thing, hey, and I get it. Donald Sterling, that's who it was, obviously. And I haven't heard from him since. We can definitely
forget his name.
Yeah, I haven't heard from him since, by the way. And the Warriors, hey, Clay, they paid you, and I get Clay's side of it. They were going to pay Clay anyway, so and it was already out. So there was no way they were going to pull back that extension because of the injury. So they were kind of stuck. It wasn't like they did it out of the goodness of their heart. Yeah. But I would say, if for Clay to be the one to acknowledge that, and then moving forward, they do offer you something, and for you to feel disrespected after you have declined a bit in your play, and you are honest about that. Yes. So basically, Clay his whole time has said, well, I'm not who I was, but I deserve more than that. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. So I think Clay I think this whole thing, we don't see it that often because players don't stay with the same teams this long. So it is a bit out of the norm right now. But Clay, you can't sit there and say, oh, I had to do all this thinking. I know I'm not the player. But there's a level, but I still feel disrespected. Yeah. So I don't know how that ends. And as we bring up the Magic, Chris, I do know
real quick. Sorry. Can I psychoanalyze Clay real quick?
Please.
Do you think that maybe some of this is stemming from him never feeling like he got the proper respect because it was always Steph's team? And then when KD comes in, it's all about Steph and KD, and Clay takes a back seat. And this isn't just him saying at every turn I was always the team player, but he got bagged out never
with KD there.
He got bagged out, but it was never. Now he's wanted. It's the Orlando thinks he can be the final piece. They're going to respect the fact that he has the rings that he has. It's like if he goes somewhere else, all of a sudden in Warrior Land, he's normal. He's like, oh yeah, I have 4 championships. I'm walking around with everybody who has 4 championships. You walk into a situation like Orlando, and all of a sudden, big fish, small pond. You're like, whoa, everybody's asking me questions, treating me like I'm Steph all of a sudden.
But that's less of, but that's what's so funny when you have these, I guess, ideas of people and what has been sold to us.
Right.
And people can change.
Yeah.
But what has been sold to us is that Clay doesn't care about the fame
at all.
He just wants to kick
He
it
just wants
with
the
whatever
vibe.
model he's dating at the time on his boat with Rocco. That's all he wants to do.
Right.
And maybe that was incorrect. Or maybe that has since changed as he's gotten a little bit older.
Right.
I do
start thinking about legacy.
Yes, I do want people to, treat me a certain way. And honestly, I wouldn't put it past this whole thing when Steph was dang near crying when Draymond got kicked out. I mean, we talk so much about Draymond's antics and how it affected Steph. What about Clay?
Yeah.
Maybe Clay's thinking, look, I'm the guy I've tried to hold this thing together as well through injuries and all this stuff. And I'm kind of tired of Draymond's stuff too.
Yeah.
I'm tired of it. I can go to a brand new spot like you said, and whether I win or not, it doesn't matter because I got my 4 rings. But I can feel wanted. Yeah. You know what I mean? I mean, we talk about, or I guess not we'll talk about dating shows a lot, and if you do not continue to tell your significant other how great they are. Yeah. Maybe they want to
left
hear
the
from
Bulls at
somebody
one
else.
point. Scotty left the Bulls and went to the Blazers, and they valued him a completely different than they valued him in Chicago, and they thought he eventually could have led them to a title, and they were about as close as you could get before they lost to the Lakers. But I could definitely see a similar thing for Clay.
Harrison Barnes, when he left the Warriors and went to the Mavs, he was big man on campus.
That was all about role, yeah.
They said, hey, we don't care that you bricked every 3 in the 2016 finals. Come on down. Come on down. Well, look, as this whole thing progresses, the Kings don't have to worry about the Magic, the Pistons, anybody, because Malik Monk is staying home. And let's not forget that. Yeah. We still got the good vibes going. Huge news coming out of Sacramento, and we're breaking it all down and everything else in the NBA, the NFL, and beyond. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
I'm sort of LeBron James, of the station, trying to boost the rating.
Keegan Murray plays here.
Keegan scores another three-pointer. Keegan Murray knocking it down for 23 points. Match De'Aaron Fox for game scoring honors.
Sactown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-385-9302 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-385-9302. That's 800-385-9302. What do you have to lose? Call 800-385-9302. Again, 800-385-9302.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
The Sacramento Kings are hosting the 6th annual California Classic Summer League on July 6th, 7th, and 9th with an expanded lineup of teams, which may include the 13th pick if the Kings keep it, but who will it be? Chris and I are going to get you in the building. Call at 1 p.m., 916-339-1140, and lock up this family 4-pack of 3-day passes. So nice. We're doing it twice. Everyone, the phone lines were on fire last week with people trying to get these tickets. I mean, I don't know if it's Nate's turn to pick the number, but pretty soon, I think one of these days, we got to do caller number 1. Maybe not today.
Yeah.
Because how fast people are calling. I want to see who's got the quickest fingers in the West.
Yeah, we got to make sure that we time it right, or at least give proper notice, because I know we always have, Steven always mentions he's listening on the app.
That's
and it's a couple minutes behind.
That's true.
So we just have to make sure, if we are going to do it, we're going to make sure that we give a very specific time, and the second it hits that time, you have to call it.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. And if you want, and we thank you for listening on the Sactown Sports app. But if you do want these tickets, we understand the delay. you got to find a way to get to that AM station, hop on the old YouTube, any way you need to do it, because we will be doing caller number 1 at some point. It's the most classic thing. You have to do it.
You have to.
You have to do it.
Especially for something this good.
Exactly. But it might not be today, but it might be today.
Might be.
You will find out at 1 o'clock. And speaking of the draft, don't forget you can kick it with your boy at Public House. It'll be Stiles and Friends. That's how we're talking about it, because the friends of the station will be here. I don't think LeBron James will be there, though. Kyle Draper.
I'm sort of LeBron James, of the station. Trying to boost the rating.
Yeah, I gotcha.
What do you think Whitey was actually thinking in that moment?
I can't say on it.
I was like, probably can't actually say, but he's probably at one point thinking, what does that make me?
Well, let's peel back the layer here, and Nate's already doing a great job as...
I think Whitey would call himself the Booby Gibson.
I was going to say Delly.
Right.
Ooh, yes, Delly.
Delly during the 16 finals where he was locked in.
Nate, you've been doing a great job, and we got more Sherlock Holmes for you, because the whole thing started, Nate, from our show when I did a Draper impersonation.
Okay, so
that's right.
Peek behind the curtain here. I see that, or I did see that drop somewhere in here. I'll have to get it later. But I've been out since Tuesday last week, almost a full week. So I'm a little behind with everything that's going on.
Beefs.
But yeah, I'll get there's some serious beef
dude,
going
so
on.
many songs have dropped since Tuesday.
Basically, we were getting a talking to by the text line about Kyle Kuzma and Zach LaVine, and we brought up Zach LaVine, and Draper is a big Zach LaVine guy. So while talking Zach LaVine, I did a Draper impersonation.
I actually have that right here. Can I listen to this on air? Is that okay for everybody if they join me?
Sure. Why do you know shoot or shoot, big fella, shoot or shoot? Why do you know shoot or shoot, big fella, shoot or shoot?
That's good.
I don't even know if he heard it. Because I tried to.
He doesn't actively avoid you guys.
No. I mean,
stay away from you guys.
They were trying to find it. Were trying to find it.
Okay.
That's how he started saying, well, I think Allen was talking about me because I'm LeBron James of the station.
That's what he said. Okay, so
Brandon Deisman is saying that he did hear it, and the Sack Chat says he definitely heard. So now today, I don't know what Drape. I don't know if he's gonna, maybe he has to do crosstalk today. Maybe that's
maybe.
That is hilarious. That is truly hilarious.
I will say, if some sort of rap beef happens between you, I've seen enough from you to know that you're beating him in any sort of lyrical showdown.
I highly doubt that we'd get to.
I'm just saying. I'm taking. I would have the house. The house I don't have on here.
And speaking of, the LeBron James, does that mean he's a free agent soon? I mean, LeBron's opting out, so I don't know what's going on.
Like the Damian Lillard, maybe, a little 4-bar Friday.
Oakland's finest. I'm good with that. So yeah, we had some fun, and we will hopefully talk to Draper a little bit later about that as we get to the new coach of the Cavs, Chris. Speaking of getting in their bags, Kenny Atkinson is looking at a bag as he takes the job to be the Cavs' next head coach. And the where I want to take this, Chris, and Atkinson has been an assistant coach with the Warriors for the past 3 seasons. After he spent the 2020-2021 season as an assistant coach with the Clippers, he was obviously the head coach of the Brooklyn Nets from 2016 to 2020. And he parted ways on March 7th, 2020.
That's like right at the pandemic.
Yeah. They
say, hey, look,
you
man,
take this bag and go home, be safe. Go home and quarantine.
Take this mask and take this bag.
So now, Chris, a lot of people have been searching and wanting to talk about Jared Allen.
Yeah.
And I think Jared Allen for the Kings, this is the same conversation. Yep. And if you're one of those, Sabonis can play the 4 people. Now is your time to shine, because Jared Allen is a name that a lot of people said, you add Jared Allen as the 5, you move Sabonis to the 4. Chris, you and I have been on the same wavelength as far as, hey, in this day and age, you kind of need a 4 that's going to be a spacer.
Yeah.
Even though Aaron Gordon isn't really a spacer. I mean, there's always exceptions to the rule, but either way, the idea is that they were going to maybe move off of Jared Allen and focus on Mobley. I put something on social media, and the responses were they're probably going to move Mobley to the 5. That seems like a Chet Holmgren situation, and they're looking to beef up, right? So I feel like Atkinson to the Cavs after working with Jared Allen on the Nets, and they have a relationship. Woj came out and said part of this is going to be they believe that Atkinson can help develop Mobley.
Right.
I think they're thinking this could save the two big men situation.
Yeah.
So I think the Jared Allen conversation is done for now.
I would think it could be, definitely. Like, it makes a lot of sense. I agree that to me, like, Mobley is a bit in a Chet situation to where, you know, ideally, or you could say a previous Anthony Davis situation where they're like, I'm a 4. And in today's NBA, like we described, like, if you're going to be that big, like, you kind of need to play center, and it'd be ideal if we can do you at center and then a bunch of, you know, smaller shooting people around you. It doesn't have to be guards, but it can be shooting forwards, all that stuff. If we can just surround you with shooting. And, you know, I think that Jared Allen is about as good of a shot blocker as you're going to find in today's NBA. I think the question is just like, spacing wise, having two non-shooters on the floor is tough for anybody. And I think you can figure out how to make it work. I'm sure Cleveland's just doing the Birdman hand rubs, looking at Minnesota and what they did last year. They're missing the Anthony Edwards part of it. But if you think that Donovan Mitchell can do a nice little Anthony Edwards impression, Cat can shoot, and that is a big difference. You're right. That's a really big difference in the two.
One of the best big men.
Yeah, and you just got to hope Mobley, I guess that's part of the plan, is Mobley has to develop some form of offensive game at some point here. Like, he's really, really good defensively, but his offensive game is just incredibly limited. And, you know, he was supposed to be a true offensive weapon when he came out of the draft. He has a decent jump shot. He has some good handle on it. It just seems like he's good, not great at all the offensive things.
You know what's funny to me? It almost reminds me of a Keegan Murray situation, because right now nobody is talking about the Cavs moving Evan Mobley, right? But if they did, they would get a really, really high return.
Yeah.
So you bring in Kenny Atkinson, and you think he's going to get Mobley to the next level. That's the gamble, the same gamble that the Kings are taking right now by making Keegan untouchable.
Yeah.
Let's say 2 years go by and it just doesn't work out. And now he's only 25 years old, and you're willing to move him. That value is not going to be anywhere near what it is right now. So I feel like the Cavs are in a similar situation. We've seen way more from Keegan, don't get me wrong, but I think the ceiling for Evan Mobley is through the roof. But they're taking a chance, bringing in Kenny Atkinson and trying to give Evan Mobley a situation where, hey, we're trying to go all in here. They can still move Jared Allen if it doesn't work out. But if it doesn't work out with Evan Mobley, they might be kicking themselves, because the return they would get right now would be insane. But they're not. That's not even being thrown around because right now, me too. But because right now, hey, we're still working on trying to get him there for us. In 2 years, he might be available if it doesn't work. But you're not going to get what you get right now.
Yeah, no, I mean, I personally would love, I mean, even from Cleveland's side, I would definitely think I would, if I were a Cleveland fan or someone covering the Cavs, I would love Evan Mobley. It's everything you want to bet on. But you're right. Like, thinking about even just how complete of a team they kind of already are. If you have Garland and you can figure out the Garland Mitchell thing and have them coexist, and you cash in Jared or Evan Mobley and get the biggest haul you possibly could, I feel like you can get just about anybody you wanted. So if you were to say, like, you know, hey, we're the Cavs, and again, we're trying to just maximize this current window, what would it look like if we shopped Evan Mobley for Paul George? Could we do that straight up? Like, we're trying to win. We see the East is pretty open. We don't think the Celtics are necessarily a team with their injury history or specifically with Porzingis. Like, we think that they're gettable. Why not? Why not try and go for it completely versus doing the thing that everybody else is doing and say, let's play the waiting game. Let's see where this guy develops.
We want Donovan Mitchell. And we still kind of want Darius Garland too.
Yeah. Doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
If I were them, I would definitely consider cashing in. I don't think they will, because no team is, it's always a tough sell to say, hey, we're going to sell off all of our young, exciting players. But, you know, you have to at some point pick a timeline. And you know, I definitely think especially in the East right now, I think the Cavs have a window of opportunity if they want to take it, but it doesn't seem like that's the route they want to go.
ESPN.com, Kings off-season primer. What are the Kings' priorities? We know they checked one big priority off their list. What about the others? Also, a little bit later, around 11:30, if you have any idea how the Kings can improve their free throws, we will be reading the best ideas. And yes keep them FCC, please. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sactown Sports and the Sactown Sports app.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Folsom Lake Kia.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. We're looking at sunny skies for this Monday, and temperatures will be pretty warm. Not as hot though as we just went through this weekend. Highs today will top out in the upper 90s, with a southwest breeze increasing tonight, dropping us back to low 60s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
Coach Doug Christie here to remind you, if you're in the market for a new car, shop Folsom Lake Kia. Low interest rates, low payments, and zero down deals with approval of credit. Folsom Lake Kia, over 25 years, right here in Folsom.
Ah, the sweet feelings of summer. The kiss of warm sun on your skin. The softly scented breeze blowing through the trees. Don't worry, you have Off Clean Feel, fragrance-free mosquito repellent that feels good on skin, so even mosquitoes can't ruin those sweet feelings of summer. Off Clean Feel. Prevention is the best protection from mosquitoes.
Not to brag, but Progressive's Name Your Price tool is mankind's greatest tool ever. Even better than the wheel. Sure, without the wheel, we wouldn't have modern transportation or funny videos of dogs riding skateboards. But without the Name Your Price tool, we wouldn't have easy access to auto insurance options based on our budget. And while cars do need wheels, they also need insurance, and insurance never goes flat. Learn more about the greatest tool ever, the Name Your Price tool at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law. Not available in all states.
Slash presents Serpent Festival, a celebration of the blues. Friday, July 12th at the venue at Thunder Valley, starring Slash, Warren Haynes Band, Samantha Fish,
Y'all guesses like a death wish.
and Eric Gales.
It's gonna be a steep climb.
Don't miss an all-star night of blues, Friday, July 12th at the venue at Thunder Valley. For tickets, visit ThunderValleyResort.com. Serpent Festival.
Lowe's knows owning a project means owning the right tools. And during Craftsman Days, you can save big on what you need from a brand you trust. Get a free Select V20 tool when you buy a Select Battery 2-pack. Plus, get your choice of the V20 string trimmer or leaf blower for only $99. Find these savings and more today. Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid through 7/10 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
With T-Mobile, you can get tons of benefits and still save. It's like getting romance and sci-fi.
I love you. Also, I'm a robot.
With T-Mobile, you can save on every plan versus AT&T and Verizon. See how with our savings calculator at T-Mobile.com/switch. Plus, we'll pay off your locked AT&T phone up to $650, and you'll get a new 5G phone for free.
Pay out via virtual prepaid card in 15 days. Free phone up to $830 via 24 monthly bill credits with qualifying planning credit plus tax and $35 connection charge. Contact us before canceling to continue bill credits or they stop and required finance agreement balances due. See T-Mobile.com.
Live and local. Live and local.
This is Sactown Sports.
Sixth, 7th, and 9th. Chris and I will be at least some of those games. So if you win this family 4-pack of 3-day passes, come holler at your boys. Also come holler at your boys on Wednesday, Public House, downtown. Gotta be there. NBA Draft. Tejan Salon gets drafted. I jump on top of the bar.
Yep.
They make me leave.
It looks like Patrick Beverly in a play-in game.
And I get a strong talking to by my bosses. That all happens
in the
Wednesday.
swamp.
And it's in the swamp. And now Alan's in the swamp because he ticked off Public House. I'm kidding. It's going to be a great time. So be sure to come out. And whether it's Tejan Salon, I will be ecstatic if they make the pick, right? Tejan Salon, obviously. Tristan Da Silva, okay, or Cody Williams. Those are the three that I would
have
be
you like excited.
Yes, those are the three because that's
you get it. Yeah.
Yes. But then the other side of this is if in some universe they take a guard,
tables might get flipped.
If they take a guard, I'm out of there. Nate's gonna be doing video.
I can see Alan just flipping his food and walking. I'm out of here.
Jared McCain, no.
Sacktown's finest.
No. Man. I mean, no. Please, no. All right, let's get into this Kings offseason primer.
Yes.
And Chris, I'll throw it to you. A lot of good things coming from the Kings so far, but they are nowhere near done.
No.
I'll put it to you like that. What you got for us?
ESPN.com has a free agency primer over on their website for every single team in the league. And it goes through a couple different categories. Hold on real quick here. It is offseason priorities, draft notebook, future assets rating, cap space breakdown, CBA impact, dates to watch, extension eligible players, and then the team's free agent statuses. So we'll go through all of those individually here. For the Kings offseason priorities, ESPN.com says evaluating whether the current roster has plateaued. The Kings declined from 48 wins in 2022-23 to 46 wins this past season, losing in the play-in tournament, the same starting five returning the past two seasons. The other offseason priority is the De'Aaron Fox extension. Fox is eligible to sign a 3-year, $166 million extension this offseason. I believe that's coming right around the corner on July 6th. In terms of their draft notebook, the Kings appear open to using the 13th pick as a trade chip, but they also have the flexibility to select the prospect they like with a need for depth on the wing and in the front court. While Sacramento appears ready to upgrade the current roster around Fox and Sabonis, the core remains young enough that there's some margin for patience and internal improvement if the right deal doesn't arise. The Kings can approach the draft accordingly with flexibility to add at different positions depending on who is left on the board. Their future draft asset rating is a 6 out of 10. The reason is the Kings owe Atlanta their first round pick that is top 12 protected in 25, top 10 protected in 26. As a result, the first allowable first round pick is 2 years after the pick to Atlanta is conveyed. Including the 2024 pick, Sacramento is allowed to trade 4 first round picks. The Kings are also allowed to swap first in 5 seasons, 27 through 31. The Kings have 5 second-round picks available. So that's their draft breakdown, all of it, and they're giving it a 6 out of 10. Cap space breakdown. The Kings have $172 million in salary, including their first-round pick entering the offseason, and are right over the $171 million tax threshold. The last time the Kings paid the luxury tax, ladies and gentlemen, was 2003-2004. Wow. So it has been a very, very, very long time since ownership has felt as if the team that they were fielding is one that is worth paying the luxury tax. The CBA impact, there is no current trade restrictions for Sacramento. However, the Kings will need to keep an eye on the $178.6 million first apron. Again, they're at $172 million as it currently stands with their first-round pick. The new contract with Monk and the unlikely bonuses of Sabonis and Trey Lyles has Sacramento $3.9 million below the first apron. Sacramento has the $5.2 million tax mid-level exception available, but will exceed the first apron if used. So the Kings right now, previously, before they had Malik Monk, they had a $12.9 million mid-level exception. Now that they are over the luxury tax, that now moves from $12.9 million to $5.2 million. And will exceed the first. Yes. So they currently have $5.2 million as their mid-level exception. The dates to watch: June 29th is the last day they can tender 1-year qualifying offers to Kessler Edwards, Jordan Ford, and Jalen Slauson. That'll give you a good idea if they plan to bring any of those lower-level guys back. Extension eligible dates: De'Aaron Fox, Davion Mitchell, and Chris Duarte are all eligible for an extension as of July 6th. And Kevin Huerter is available for an extension on October 1st. The Kings free agents going into this offseason, thankfully Malik Monk is no longer on this list. It is Alex Len, who they have his bird rights to. He was unrestricted. JaVale McGee, non-bird rights, unrestricted. Kessler Edwards, they have his early bird rights, which is what they had with Malik as well. He is restricted. Jordan Ford is restricted, and as is Jalen Slauson. That is your 2024 Kings off-season primer.
Some of those lower-level guys, from what I've heard from people that frequent Stockton, it feels like the only player that would probably make his way back is Slauson. Does that feel right to you?
I could see Jordan Ford coming back just because he at least for the summer league, he did really, really well in summer league last year. That's kind of what got him the contract. He's obviously a local kid as well. I don't see much harm in bringing back Jordan Ford, and then maybe at some point he can kind of get some minutes and maybe see if there's anything at a pro level. That obviously has, I think, a lot to do with the Sacramento ties as well, but I think Jordan is somebody I'd be willing to kick the tires on. Kessler Edwards is such a weird one because when they traded for him, they played him a good bit 2 seasons ago in the Beam Team season. Last season, did Kessler play like 15? I don't even know if he played over 20 games.
All I remember is that fateful game in Washington when the Kings were trash and he balled out. He had at least 3
Yes, that's right.
all I remember from Kessler.
He played 54 games somehow this season. It must have been a lot of like 20-second stints. But Kessler's the only one I don't know what to do with. I feel like they'll let him walk just because they've gotten a good sample size of him. It's not that he's played bad, but I think it's just you kind of know what you have, and what you do have is something the Kings haven't really used. So I just kind of view those kind of contracts as like a dice roll, and you can continue to roll the dice if you think you're going to get lucky, or if you want, just hit a different table. And I think with Kessler Edwards, it's gotten to the point where, okay, yeah, like it's been a decent table. I've won some, I've lost some, but I kind of just want to see what's available at some other tables. So I think Kessler is probably going to move on. And I think one of Alex Len or JaVale is probably gone. I don't know which one. After JaVale's media tour, I'm back on the JaVale hype train. But Alex gave them such good minutes last year. It's just kind of a matter of Alex, honestly, is like, I kind of want a different situation too. Like, you guys have been stringing me along, and I appreciate the playing time you're giving me. You're continuing to keep my pro career alive, but I kind of would like somewhere where I understand I'd like some stability here. And it feels like Alex Len has just kind of been dragged along for the ride. So I could see JaVale coming back.
So Chris, this is from Alan Cowell, who writes for Sports Illustrated. And he says, fun fact, if De'Aaron Fox makes an all NBA team this season or wins MVP or Defensive Player of the Year, he will be eligible next summer for a 5-year, $349 million contract extension, which would be the biggest contract in NBA history. So Chris, just to let everybody know, if is that only if De'Aaron doesn't take this extension?
Yes.
Or could he take this extension and still get the next extension?
No, he would have to turn down this extension and then bet on himself that he's going to win either MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, or make an all NBA team. And then he's eligible for that extension.
But even this past season, he could have gotten the Supermax.
Yes.
So is it the same idea? Let's say he turns it down.
Yeah, he also turned down an extension in December 23. They offered him a 2-year extension that he turned down. It was a 2-year, $105 million extension he turned down for that exact reason. He wanted to see if he would make All-NBA last season to see if he could have earned that Supermax contract this offseason.
So either let's say he turns this one down.
Yes, yeah.
Then next season does not make MVP or D-Boy. He'd still get another extension opportunity.
Yes.
So he can just keep betting on himself until he hits or doesn't hit.
Yeah, essentially, yes, he definitely can. The risk is, of course, if he gets injured or something like that, that could maybe take down that contract value a little bit. And also from the Kings side, they're going to get to a point to where it's like, De'Aaron, we really don't want you going into a lame duck season here without an extension. Right. We don't want a ton of questions and rumors and all that stuff. We just want you signed long term. And I'm sure at some point they could say, look, man, like we can maybe bake in some incentives into your contract that make it close to what you can get there. But at the end of the day, yeah, like we have to lock you up. You have to understand our side of things. We definitely understood and have given you the grace to try and win all NBA 2 seasons. At some point here, we need you to sign the dotted line.
Coming up at 11 o'clock, Nate will give us trade pieces and or free agents, and we will gauge our interest, and we want to know your interest, 916-339-1140. But coming up next, we read the grades from ESPN.com. Seth Walder, offseason grades for the Niners and the Raiders. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
The only place you'll find Kevin Herter is Sactown Sports.
Herter's open, steps into 3. He's got the triple.
Hey, Sacramento, it's Kevin Herter, and you're listening to the home of the Sacramento Kings, Sactown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
I didn't ask to be thrown in the streets with nowhere to go. I didn't think I'd survive. But I did ask for help, and Covenant House was there for me.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year. For these kids who didn't ask to be put in this unthinkable situation, Covenant House is there.
Covenant House helped me break the cycle of homelessness in my family. They gave me the love that I needed.
Over 2,000 young people will sleep safely in a Covenant House bed tonight. When youth who are experiencing homelessness have a hot meal, a safe place to sleep, medical care, and love, they can overcome heartbreaking challenges and have a brighter future.
They just really genuinely just wanted to help me succeed, and I'm succeeding. I'm a speaker, I'm an author. Covenant House really helped me and really helped mold me into the woman I am today.
If you or someone you love is asking for help, go to safeplacetosleep.org today.
It's the ride everybody wants to be driving, and Elk Grove Kia has them in stock right now. I'm talking about the 2024 Kia Telluride. And my friends at Elk Grove Kia can get you behind the wheel of a 2024 Telluride SX for only $419 a month, plus taxes and fees. Whenever I see one of these driving down the road or next to me at a red light, I just stop and admire it because the Kia Telluride just looks iconic. And not only is the Kia Telluride beautiful, it's got room for the whole family. There's a seating capacity for up to 7 passengers. Plus, it's loaded with tech. So is the 2024 Kia Telluride the right ride for you and your family? Come on down to Elk Grove Kia in the Elk Grove Auto Mall. Give it a test drive. And just a heads up, when you're here at Elk Grove Kia, you're going to be treated very well. You're not going to get this kind of car buying experience in Roseville, Vacaville, Sacramento, or Davis. That's why Elk Grove Kia has so many 5-star reviews. Again, check them out in the Elk Grove Auto Mall or online, elkgrovekia.com. 24-month lease, $0 security deposit, 20 cents per mile over 10,000 miles per year, $4,999 due at signing based on approval of credit. VIN number 501850, ends June 30th, 2024.
NBA basketball returns to Golden One Center for the 6th annual California Classic Summer League, presented by Ticketmaster. Your Sacramento Kings will host the San Antonio Spurs, Charlotte Hornets, and for the first time ever, the Chinese national team. The 3-day event on July 6th, 7th, and 9th will feature 2 games each day, and single-day passes include lower-level seats for both games for as little as $29. Fans attending Saturday will enjoy a free concert from rock band Chevy Metal. For more information, visit kings.com/California Classic.
The IRS deadline has come and gone. So do you owe money to the IRS? If so, you need an ally. Whether you owe the IRS $6,000 or $600,000, whether your tax problems are personal or business, the professionals at Allies Tax Relief are ready to step in and negotiate your fresh start with the IRS. Here's a happy customer of Allies Tax Relief.
Before calling Allies Tax Relief, I feared the IRS would take all of my assets. I owed them over $562,000. Thankfully, I was referred to Allies and called them for help. They ultimately saved my life from uncertainty. Allies negotiated my giant tax debt to an unbelievable $1,500. They are professionals and they fight the fight for their clients.
Allies Tax Relief will protect your assets from being seized and your paycheck from being garnished. Call right now for your free consultation. 800-296-0772. That's 800-296-0772. Or visit AlliesTaxRelief.com.
Right now, while you're sitting on the couch or just driving around, your friends are at the Hagen Oaks Driving Range powered by Top Tracer. The vibe is perfect, whether you're an accomplished player or a newbie. Play a variety of fun games, play Pebble Beach, or compete against friends at the Hagen Oaks Driving Range. Hungry? The Hangout Food Truck offers burgers, chicken strips, and more. Check the summer-long free concert schedule. Be a part of the fun at the Hagen Oaks Driving Range, Fulton Avenue at Cap City Freeway, open until midnight.
My good friends, Dr. Jack Friedlander and Dr. Pash in Roseville and in San Francisco are offering not only confidence, not only security, but also the ability, if you ain't insecure, to go from the roster to the all-star team. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about UpsizeMatters.com. Time after time, vote after vote, circumference, or as we call it, girth, is consistently ranked as the most important attribute. And Dr. Jack and Dr. Pash can give you a free consultation. The procedure can be done on the same day as your consultation with immediate results. It's non-surgical. It's virtually pain-free, safe, effective, long-lasting, semi-permanent, and doctor-performed. For more information, go to UpsizeMatters.com. Go to UpsizeMatters.com. Make that change. Make the all-star team.
In the Bay, but the two teams that Northern California identifies with in the San Francisco 49ers and the Las Vegas Raiders, as ESPN.com grades both of their off seasons. Chris, I know you have both of them here. I think, and I haven't. I think I briefly saw one, but I didn't see the breakdowns. Yeah, and I know one is good and one is bad.
Cool, perfect. Because I wanted you to try and guess what. Give me what you think their grade is, and then what you think the ESPN.com, I believe, like you said, is Seth Waldron of ESPN.com gave their offseason ranking. So let's start with the 49ers. 49ers, their offseason grade, and before I'll give you a little insight maybe into the direction in which they're leaning. Their biggest move that they have written down here is not trading any of their wide receivers. So a good move. Their biggest move was actually a move they didn't make. The move that Seth Waldron says he liked the most, again, not trading Brandon Ayuk. The move that he disliked the most, and you'll love this, is even the wording, reaching for wide receiver Ricky Pearsall in the first round. So given those three things, where do you think Seth Waldron fell on the offseason grade for the 49ers? Nate, you can also hop in here.
It's always tough when you're a good team already. It's hard to get that A. So I would just say a B.
Okay. Nate, do you have any guesses on what ESPN
Nate's
would give?
talking to our boss right
now. Never
Yeah.
mind then. Well, what would you give the Niners then? Personally, would you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, it would be a B, but it wouldn't be a strong B, right? But again, I think it's hard when you're already a really good team.
You nailed it. Gave him a B. Seth Waldron gave the 49ers a B for their offseason moves and writes, the 49ers entered 2024 with many of the same players who got them to the Super Bowl and others. And other than some defensive line turnover, the team cut Eric Armstead and lost defensive tackles Sebastian Joseph Day and Javon Kinlaw, along with defensive ends Randy Gregory, Cleve Farrell, and Chase Young in free agency, and brought in edge rusher Leonard Floyd, defensive tackle Malik Collins via trade, and Uter Gross Matos and defensive tackle Jordan Elliott. San Francisco also added Devondre Campbell at linebacker, a potential important signing after Dre Greenlaw tore his Achilles in the Super Bowl. Perhaps the most notable move of the 49ers offseason is the one they didn't make, at least not yet, trading Ayuk or fellow receiver Deebo Samuel. Ayuk is worth keeping and paying, as he is the top overall receiver in ESPN's receiver tracking metrics last season and is only just 26 years old. On the other hand, Samuel is a great yak receiver, but I worry how his style will play with age. At 28, he is 2 years older than Ayuk. if the 49ers decide they are overinvested at wideout and want to save some money, Samuel is the player to move. Part of the reason they are so invested is because the team also spent its first-round pick on Ricky Pearsall. Though a fine prospect, Alan, you will love this. This is did you write this? That was probably the largest non-quarterback reach in on the first round based on expectation of where players would be drafted.
I think you meant steal, Chris.
Well, he's both at the same time. That's what makes him so amazing. And again, Seth Waldron of ESPN.com giving the Niners offseason a B. It feels about right.
That feels right.
You know,
that feels
like
right
I think you put it perfectly. Like when you're already so good, it's tough to raise that level again, so much so that you're going to be like, they were already great.
Yeah.
And then the additions they made them even greater, knock out the park.
Yeah, I think going after Ricky Pearsall when you didn't know or you don't know what's going to happen with Debo after this next season, or if you do decide to trade Brandon Ayuk, it keeps me from dropping them, even though there's drama involved.
Yeah.
I don't think it's enough. I think it made just enough sense.
Yeah.
To where I wouldn't give them a C for that. So I think a B, not a B, but not a strong B feels right.
Yeah, I think. What do you think would have made it an A? Maybe is there anything that they could have done? Like, if they would have brought back Armstead, if they would have just essentially ran it back, period.
Yeah.
And maybe just replace, still had the Devondre Campbell signing, so they're replacing Greenlaw as well.
I think people would have gave them an A if they just did what
take a lineman
was
maybe
expected and just got the best lineman that was still on best offensive lineman that was still on the board.
I
think.
Yeah.
Not to say that would have actually been an A, but they would have gotten an A.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
What's weird at the top of the article, move I liked, not trading Brandon Ayuk, right?
Yes.
That's not over yet. I don't think that's fair to say.
Yeah.
Even
though
though
it said yet.
It said yet.
Yeah.
Later, it says at least not. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess that's more of a headline grab your eye thing.
Yes,
but,
absolutely.
I don't know if you guys saw Ayuk was in a private jet. In the
sure
Bay.
was.
Yeah,
Yep.
so
He sure was.
What does that mean?
After
I don't
hanging
know.
out with Jaden Daniels all weekend.
That's right.
At first, I really like the Malik Collins trade until you start to realize they're just kind of just putting old men on that D line. Like old, I won't say stars, but like role player, good players. I don't know how to categorize these guys, but along with Hargrave, who I think right now they're probably paying too much money for the production he put out last year. I won't say I think, I'll say definitely they are.
Right.
Leonard Floyd, great ad, I thought. That's probably my favorite move of the offseason. But just the Ayuk thing is we're still in it for sure.
Definitely still in it. All right, Chris, we want to get to the Raiders.
The Raiders. And again, before you take your guesses, let's do the biggest move he liked the most and move he disliked the most. The biggest move for the Raiders, according to Seth Waldron of ESPN.com, was failing to acquire a long-term solution at quarterback. The move that he liked was re-signing center Andre James, and the move he disliked was not trading Devontae Adams. Gentlemen, what grade do we think? I don't know if Nate's already got it up, but what grade do we think the Raiders got for this offseason?
Soft C.
Soft C.
It sounds like C- territory.
You guys are trending in the right direction. Unfortunately, you're not harsh enough, and Seth Waldron gave them a D, a straight-up D for this offseason, saying first, they failed to secure a long-term solution or even a long-term hope at quarterback. Though I don't knock them too heavily for that, Vegas entered the offseason in why would you put that in an inevitable position? Why would you put those three words together?
3 times
of
fast.
needing a quarterback, not having the roster to support a major signing like Kirk Cousins, and drafting last among a slew of QB needy teams. The Raiders could have traded up, but it would have been for one of the second-tier quarterbacks. In lieu of a long-term solution, they paid a non-trivial $15 million guaranteed deal to Gardner Minshew, though he's coming off a solid season in Indy. Instead, the real issue was that what they didn't do within the context of not securing a quarterback. The team needed to recognize its non-contender status and should have shifted its focus into acquiring resources to set itself up nicely for when it can acquire a quarterback and become a contender again. The biggest failure was not trading Adams, which is almost inexcusable in the Raiders' current state. This is something I was talking about at the end of last season. The 31-year-old wide receiver has one cheap year left on his contract, $17 million for a training team, and Las Vegas needed to cash in for draft capital now. Instead, it's running out of the clock on a depreciating asset. Likewise, the Raiders ought to have traded down and acquired future assets that could have been used on or to support a future quarterback. Elsewhere, the Raiders spent a ton on defensive tackle Christian Wilkins, which I criticized at the time as an overpay. He helps their defense, but I don't know if he's worth the price they paid. The way I want to go on that is the Devontae Adams thing. I completely agree 100%. I think that they should have, again, I think non-contender is the perfect way of stating it, because what are the Raiders doing with Devontae Adams?
Well, and I do think this goes back to what I felt about Damian Lillard for all those years in Portland.
Yeah.
And I got to be careful here because I love Devontae Adams. He's a Bay Area guy. Went to Palo Alto High.
Has nothing. He's too good. That's what he's suffering from success right now.
But I do think a part of this is it feels like he wanted to play. I think he was a Raider fan. He wanted to play with Derek Carr.
Right,
and I think at this point in his career, he's 31 years old. Yeah, I think he's just chilling.
Maybe,
I think if he was knocking the door down and saying, I want to be on a contender, I want to do this, I want to do that.
You were 28 or something.
Fine.
Yeah.
And we go back and forth. I know NFL players don't have the same power as NBA players. I just think that deep down, Devontae Adams is chilling. That's what I think.
He likes the slot machines, man.
Yeah,
out there
and it's nice weather out. It's always warm. I
don't know about nice.
You can't say that. You have to say, hey, I believe in this team, whatever it is.
But what do you believe in? What does he possibly believe
Gardner
in?
Minshew.
Like
mustache Minshew.
But to the point of for next year. Yeah.
Right? I know we're up against it. I'm gonna end it like this.
Yeah.
Okay. This guy, he's been starting to come around. His footwork has been phenomenal. Okay. The videos that I've seen, he's definitely starting to figure it out. Go get Trey Lance. Oh my gosh. Go get him.
Why not? You might as well.
Get him.
Again, that's even what the article said. Is like, not only did you not get a long-term solution, at least get some hope of a long-term solution.
Go get Trey Lance.
Go sell the hopium, please. Because no one's believing in Aiden O'Connell long-term.
And I don't mind Gardner, but Gardner Minshew to me,
he's a bridge.
Will keep them where they have been.
Yep.
Stuck in the middle like Mary Morris. Coming up next, trade targets and free agents. Nate reads them off. We rate them, and we hear from you as well. Opening up the phone lines on this beautiful Monday. It's still morning. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Subscribe to Sactown Sports on YouTube and watch the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Live Monday through Friday from 6 to 6. Plus view archive shows and exclusive content.
Subscribe at youtube.com/Sactown Sports.
Carmichael Dave here for Capital Casino. Sacramento Summertime Heat is back. And, of course, Cap Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room, wants to invite everyone to soak up some air conditioning, still with the most variety of table games in the region. And, as always, the best food, best service, and the best action, conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. Capital Casino, of course, reminding everyone to please make sure you gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
18 number ones. Countless ACM and CMA awards. Sold out world tours. And now Dierks Bentley is coming to Sacramento for Country in the Park 2. September 28th at Hart Health Park at Cal Expo with Parmalee, Dasha, Kelsey Hart, and more, plus line dancing, food trucks, and more. Tickets available now at CITVFest.com.
Brought to you by Bonnie Electrical Heating and Air and the U.S. Marines. Get ready to fuel your spirit of adventure with Kia Vacaville Summer Sticker Sales Event. It's time to crank up the excitement. Calling all thrill seekers. Are you ready for an adrenaline-packed journey? Introducing the Kia Telluride, the ultimate companion for your next adventure. Picture this. Blazing trails through uncharted territories, conquering the wild with the power and precision of the Kia Telluride. With Kia Vacaville, you can join the expedition and experience the thrill of off-road exploration like never before. With its rugged design and cutting-edge features, the Kia Telluride is your passport to unforgettable adventures. Don't let this opportunity pass you by. Head to Kia Vacaville today and gear up for the adventure of a lifetime during their summer sticker sales event. Your adventure starts now. Kia Vacaville, where every journey is an adventure. Visit Kia Vacaville today. Model availability, lease options, and features may vary. Please visit Kia Vacaville for more details.
Stuck in a downtown meeting marathon? Need a post-work pick-me-up? Head over to Public House Downtown, the corner of 16th and L Streets. That's right, Public House Downtown, your one-stop shop for good times. With 60 beers on tap, come catch the game on 25 HD TVs. Public House Downtown serves up creative American food all day long. Lunch, happy hour, dinner, and even weekend brunch. Public House Downtown. Food, beer, sports. Want to see the menu or plan your visit? Check out their website at phdowntown.com. Find your crew and find your fun at Public House Downtown.
Award-winning country sensation Lee Brice is back. One of them girls that ain't trying to meet nobody. You'll just hear live in concert. Friday, June 28th, 7:30 p.m. The venue at Thunder Valley. Lee Brice. Special guest Abby Anderson. The venue at Thunder Valley. For tickets, visit ThunderValleyResort.com. Don't miss Lee Brice live.
It's been said an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And when it comes to a nice, cool summer, it's so true. Right now, get a complete air conditioner tune-up for just $59. Bonnie, plumbing, sewer, electrical, heating, and air. Bonnie.com. Some restrictions apply. License 696-355.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
No look, Bibby to Weber, down the lane, flying jam. There's your play of the night right there. It's inside to Sabonis, a two-hand rip. A brilliant pass from De'Aaron Fox.
KHTKAM Sacramento. KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
T-minus 2 hours. Your chance to win a family 4-pack of 3-day passes to the California Classic Summer League, July 6th, 7th, and 9th. All you got to do is call in 916-339-1140. That is at 1 p.m. It's going to be a quick trigger today. We don't know the number, but we're going to be quick because we know how many people want these tickets. We will be doing it all week long, so you will have a couple more chances. Also, hey, maybe Thursday and Friday, maybe we'll add another layer to this. If you are at Public House and you get a picture with your boy, whether it be selfie or Nate takes a picky, something like that, head on the text line, send it in, tweet at us, whatever it is. We'll see what we can do.
If you want to make Alan really mad, while I'm next to Alan, go up and ask me for a picture. And don't ask Alan. If you want to see Alan, like his brain explode.
No, then I'll just start binge eating and I'll have 4 steak sandwiches. So that'll happen.
Doesn't sound like a bad thing.
Great food at Public House, and we will be there on Wednesday celebrating Tejan Salon or Cody Williams or trading the pick. Because here's the other thing, Chris, before we get into these kind of trade targets, is the assumption simply that if they trade the pick at some point on Wednesday, the Kings will have Zach LaVine or Kyle Kuzma? Is the assumption that, trade the pick, that pick will be a part of a big trade? Or is it going to be, they traded down or something like that? We just keep hearing trade the pick, right? But I'm not necessarily I guess nobody really knows. It's just trade the pick. We don't know if it's going to be for Kuzma or LaVine or Brandon Ingram, whoever it is. Yeah, no, I mean, it's definitely a good question. I would assume that it's going to be for one of those bigger fish targets because, the 13th pick by itself, especially in this draft, probably doesn't have like a ton of value. If I've heard conversations like what even does the number 1 pick get you? And there's talks of like, does the number 1 pick in the draft get you
Herb Jones? Does it get you, Trey Murphy, one of those guys or something like that? And so if we're having that conversation about number one, if 13 is maybe getting you like a 6th or 7th guy in a rotation, and I just kind of feel like the Kings could do better with that asset, especially considering, like we just read a couple, like a half hour ago, they're not going to have any picks for the next 2 years. They owe that to Atlanta. And so they're kind of hamstrung in terms of, if you're not going to trade this 13th pick, you're not going to have a first round pick to trade for a couple years. I just kind of think that it's going to be for the bigger move. And then if you let the draft pass, I mean, I guess you could trade whoever you take anyway, but it's like a car, the second you drive it off the lot, the second number 13 gets a name attached to it, the value instantly diminishes. Right? It doesn't matter who it is. It could be Bronny James. It could be Jared McCain. It could be Alex Sarr. It really doesn't matter. That pick's going to have less value than it did the day or the hours before the draft started. So I would just assume that it's going to be for one of these names that we keep circling. And who knows, maybe as we get closer to Wednesday, we start to hear maybe Jeremy Grant's name get back into the fold. Maybe we start to hear Brandon Ingram's name more involved when it comes to the Kings. But I definitely think it's going to be for a bigger name.
All right, Nate. Let's get to these.
Let's get to the rumor mill, man.
These rumor mill targets and gauge our interest levels.
I got a pair of Bucks for you guys.
Ooh, okay.
From Milwaukee. You guys familiar?
Yes,
Beautiful
I've heard.
This time of year.
Okay,
yes,
so
wonderful.
This is one of the Lopez brothers, who Chris is a big fan of.
Massive.
So we'll start with Brooke.
Okay.
The Bucks are gauging the trade value for Brooke Lopez right now, and that's from Jake Fisher. Lopez averaged 12.5 points, 5.2 rebounds, 2.5 blocks almost, while shooting 36.6% from three. He's 36 years old, set to make $23 million next season. And let's also not forget, he got in a fight with Trey Lyles.
Ooh, possible chemistry issues before he even walks through
Possible.
the door.
I like it.
Now, do you want your next? You want your next Buck, or would you like to
give us the next Buck?
Give us both Bucks.
Because I ain't doing nothing for just Brooke.
Pat Connaughton.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Just kind of feeling out the room right now.
Yeah.
They're shopping Pat right now for a more versatile rotation piece. Harrison Barnes. Connaughton's 31. He's making about $9.5 million in the next year, and includes a player option for the following season.
Well, I mean, like Nate said, I am a Brooke Lopez fan. I'm just a Lopez twin fan, but I put this on socials over the weekend. I just think $23 million for 36-year-old Brooke Lopez is just insane. Like last offseason when he got that deal, I mean, I was all for the Kings kicking the tires on Brooke. I kind of thought he was going to get like a mid-level contract. He was entering his 35-year-old season, had already won rings and all that stuff. So I kind of thought he'd be open to maybe going to a different situation, accepting a different role. He did not do that. He accepted, as he should, a 2-year, $46 million deal. I just think 23 is way too much to try and trade for him. And it's just kind of the assets that you would have to use to get to 23 million, I think would be better suited on somebody else. So like if you're going to use Kyle Kuzma, I hate to drink. Kyle Kuzma makes $23 million. I would just much rather use the Harrison Barnes in another piece, or Kevin Huerter in another piece to go get Kyle Kuzma than to use those to go get Brooke Lopez. Pat Connaughton I'm interested in, but kind of, I mean, funny enough, it's the Bucks. It's kind of a Bobby Portis situation to where I don't know if you could really match the value of Bobby Portis or of Pat Connaughton at 9.4.
Right. If you're trying to package these guys together, I think it's definitely possible.
Yeah.
But again, okay, the Bucks want more versatile rotation piece, and I know Nate was kidding or half kidding about Harrison Barnes, but that's a name, right?
Yeah.
He is a Swiss Army knife.
a veteran.
Doesn't matter how sharp or dull it is.
Nope.
He is somebody that can do more than Pat Connaughton. I would say watching Pat Connaughton as much as we did because of the injury, that guy, the obvious comparison is Kevin Huerter, but he makes a lot more than Kevin Huerter. So I really do think that there is something there with him, and obviously Brooke Lopez. It's a little steep for me. I would be interested. It would just be more about what they want in return and what the Bucks feel like they need. They're thin, so they're thin, but I don't know that they want a bunch of young guys that are too young.
Yeah.
Oh, Jalen Slauson, and guys like that. So I don't really know what the Bucks are looking for.
Yeah.
But I am interested in them as a package. Yeah. I don't think I'm interested in either of them one-on-one.
I think I agree with that completely. I would put, if we had to do a 1 through 10 as a package, 6.5, 7 for me. I'll land at a 6.
And that's assuming Herter is out the door.
Yeah,
I don't think you need Herter and Pat Connaughton.
I wouldn't think so.
Yeah.
The big issue is just
probably HB too.
Herter coming off the injury too.
Yeah.
I think he would fit into the Bucks pretty well.
Yeah.
If that wasn't a question mark. But let me ask you, deal or no deal on these next guards for you.
Yeah.
We got Malik Beasley, 27 years old, expected to leave the Bucks in free agency per Chris Haynes. Beasley, who shot 41.3% on threes this season, will attract plenty of attention from contending teams. We also have Tim Hardaway Jr. hanging around right now. I don't know if you guys have any interest in him. The Mavericks are shopping him in hopes of finding a rotational upgrade. Hardaway, 32 years old, will be on a $16.2 million expiring contract, and he was phased out of the rotation during the Dallas playoff run. Not sure exactly how that'll play into regular season. But also, last but not least, Eric Gordon, old man Gordon, he will decline his $3.4 million player option with the Suns. He's 35 years old and will receive interest in the vet minimum market for contenders in need of additional floor spacing.
This is really
juicy. I like
good
this.
because they're all interesting in different ways.
Yeah, I agree.
Because I would say that Malik Beasley is probably going to be the most expensive, but at the same time, he's been hot and cold for me. Tim Hardaway, I think there might be something there, but we could be in another Kevin Herter situation.
Sure,
he really doesn't do. I think Kevin Herter might do more than Tim Hardaway Jr. All that man does is shoot.
Yeah.
And I mean, you'd have to move off of Sasha.
Yeah. That'd be a good Malik replacement if we were still living in that world.
But he doesn't even create like that.
No,
he doesn't even create like that.
He's just pulling.
Eric Gordon, who would be the cheapest, I think he's going to have interest, and I think Eric Gordon probably would go. He's funny. He's leaving the Suns, so he's probably gonna see where else the ring chasing is.
He feels like Miami. I don't know why. He feels like a Heat player to me, especially at this stage in his career. I don't know.
Yeah, if I'm picking one and you're including price, I think you might. It's funny. You might get the most value from Tim Hardaway.
I love Tim Hardaway, so I can't not be biased in that one. I just have always liked his willingness to pull. It's a little hypocritical of me for some of my other likings or dislikings in the league, but I think he's a dynamite scorer. 16 mil is quite a bit. It is expiring. That could just be a simple switch for them. Maybe they could do, Sasha, Duarte. Maybe, you can mix some lower level contracts to get up to the 16 mil because, like Nate said, he's not in the rotation currently. And so maybe you could just say, hey, here's 3 rotation pieces that you can roll the dice on. Just give us Tim Hardaway back. I like it in terms of, it feels like he's the most ready to maybe step into a role and exceed expectations. Malik Beasley's really good. He's just another volume shooter.
What do you think Malik Beasley's going to cost, though?
I don't know. Yeah, he turned down, I think, 7 mil, which was going to be his player option, if I'm not mistaken.
Because if he's less than 16, then maybe I go in that direction.
Yeah, I'm not sure if the Kings can afford it, especially like we said earlier, their mid-level exception got reduced down to 5.2 mil, so they might not even be able to kind of reach the money that Beasley wants. But I do think that he's a really, really intriguing player just with how he shoots the ball, the volume at which he shoots the ball. I mean, this dude has taken 8 threes a game since 2020 and knocked it down at, mid to high 30%. I think I like Aaron Gordon just as the simple fit, but I think I like Malik Beasley as the biggest swing upside. And unfortunately, Tim Hardaway just kind of falls in the middle of, I know what he is, but I'm not sure if he were to be on the Kings, he might just end up in the same situation that he was in Dallas.
Coming up next, we continue the conversation. Next, we have free agent forwards and bigs. Who do you want in your Sacramento Kings? Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
What's the missing piece for the 49ers?
Which names will they add during free agency? Whether it's in season or off season, the coverage never stops. Get the latest 49ers news on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BC. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
At the Good Feet store, we take pain very seriously. Whether in the foot, knee, hip, or back, Good Feet makes over 300 styles, flexibilities, and sizes of pain-relieving arch supports. With 26 bones, 30 joints, and over 100 muscles, tendons, and ligaments in each foot, a lot can go painfully wrong. So there's a trained arch support specialist at each Good Feet store to give you a precision fit. Come in for a free fitting and test walk. No appointment necessary. Good Feet arch supports are HSA, FSA eligible.
The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Vacaville. Online at goodfeet.com.
Live and local.
Live and local. This is Sactown Sports.
$1:00. Family 4-pack of 3-day passes to the California Classic Summer League on July 6th, 7th, July 9th. You know, tomorrow we will do our final thoughts, or actually we can do them Wednesday. Final thoughts on whether or not, and I feel like we have a terrible batting average when we do this, but final thoughts whether or not the Kings will or will not make the pick. We can have some fun with who they actually take, but just whether or not they actually make the pick. Because we have a terrible track record with this. Yeah. We were wrong, I don't know if it was both of us, but I know I was wrong. I think it was both of us. We were wrong on the Mike Brown.
Yes, in terms of timing,
And you, not so much, but I had recently said I was feeling bad about Malik Monk, and then he signs a contract. So I just need to I'm feeling like, a Giants player right now. I just need to get on the board.
Yes.
I have a public apology to make too if we're doing this real quick.
Okay.
A few weeks ago, kind of got talked into doing that Malik thing about where he made the appearance. And and you know what? I'm very happy I was wrong. Chris took the right side. I just want to come out and say I'm not going to be a journalist or a reporter. This was
or
a
body
feeling.
Language doctor.
Yeah, about nothing. I'm just going to hang out behind here and chill. So just I want to get that out. I just want to show that, I'm a stupid idiot and I was wrong.
I forgot about that.
That's okay.
Yeah, you had people sad. I
did.
sad.
And you know what? I was prepping for the worst. I'm kind of a cynical guy. Doomsday. Yeah. You could just say definitely.
Yeah.
I don't like when people talk about themselves. So I don't like to do it, but yeah.
Wow. Well, hey, good on you. You're a man of honor.
Yeah.
I'm a hero.
Well,
some would say
you tried to make
kind of like a phoenix.
You tried to make Kings fans very sad.
Yeah.
But luckily Malik.
I'm happy to be wrong. So I literally
Hey Chris, we gotta find
that.
Yeah, he just looked like he was about to let us down.
Let us down.
Yeah.
He just looked.
To be fair, you made me do that segment.
You told me.
I told you
Chris,
about it, and then you said,
me.
"Okay, that's a segment."
Yeah,
Chris wasn't even there for that.
No, Chris was there.
No, Chris,
I don't believe I was.
Chris stepped out to do the early crosstalk because either Dave or Jason was gone. This is an off-air conversation.
You started it.
I'm apologizing.
You might be the reason Malik stayed because he said, "I'm going to prove this guy wrong."
Then I'm a hero.
Congrats,
then I'm
man.
a phoenix.
Yeah, it's not about you. I thought you.
Then I'm rising from the ashes.
I thought you didn't like talking about yourself. All right, let's continue.
I love it. I just say that to sound cool.
Let's continue with these free agents now. We did trades in the last segment. Now we're going to do some free agent forwards and bigs. Chris, no guards? No free agent guards?
Shooting guards?
Yeah, we don't have to anymore. Yeah. We don't have to anymore because Malik Monk, he loves Sacramento, and it is definitely beautiful this time of year. Hope your AC is working.
Yeah.
All right, Nate, what you got for us?
We're going to do a little bit of forward thinking.
Yes.
We're going to jump into some forwards. Najee Marshall with the Pelicans, they're preparing to lose him. He's 26 years old free agency has a strong market for him for a versatile wing. They could be teams could be with a ton of cap space, like the Pistons, Sixers, and Spurs. They're all strong contenders to take Najee away from New Orleans, but who really knows? We got Torrey Craig, who's going to decline his $2.8 million player option with the Bulls. He's going to hit free agency. A lot of talk with the Bulls and Kings right now. And you got Craig, who's 33 years old, another older guy, would be a gamer with a lot of interest. What?
It says he'll garner interest.
Oh, excuse me. I'm far from the thing. He will garner a lot of interest.
Will be a gamer, though.
Probably a gamer.
Yeah.
Contending teams with a wing with postseason experience, Harrison Barnes. Caleb Martin, who's expected to opt out with the Miami Heat for a bigger payday. The Miami Heat swingman Caleb Martin is expected to decline his $7.13 million player option to enter unrestricted free agency for a bigger payday this summer, and that comes from Hoops Hype. Last year, Caleb Martin shot 37%, or last 3 years, shot 37% with the Heat from three, and he should depart in free agency from Miami to replace, and they will have to replace floor spacing. Miami will.
I'll tell you what, I love Caleb Martin. I will definitely tell you that. Maybe I'm still like living in the previous season's life where, you know, he was cooking Boston in the conference finals and all that stuff. But I just think that's the exact kind of guy that the Kings just don't really have, is a lesser level Swiss Army knife that can come off the bench. He could be a scorer. He can be a hustle guy. He's a good rebounder. He's a decent shooter. He can get to the rim. Just a little bit of everything. I've been a big fan of Caleb Martin. I just don't know. Again, $7.13 million he's turning down on his player option. I don't know if the Kings can get higher than that. Yeah. But if they can figure out a way to get a guy like Caleb Martin, I definitely think that's a good piece. Najee Marshall, we've seen tons of him. He killed us in the play-in game. Definitely think that's somebody the Kings should be interested in. And then Torrey Craig, honestly, is just he's your Jay likes to call the HB and Herder package, the Toyota Corolla package. Torrey Craig, Dorian Finney-Smith, Royce O'Neals, those guys are the Toyota Camrys of these forward defensive-minded wings that we keep talking about. Yeah. So, of course, I'm fine with Torrey Craig, too.
Yeah, you know, honestly, I think it's just process of elimination for these guys. I think Najee Marshall, when you're talking about teams like the Sixers, the Spurs, the Pistons, he's going to get priced out. I think Caleb Martin's going to get priced out. And I think Torrey Craig at 33 is your consolation prize.
Yep.
And to be honest, Chris, I'm okay with that.
It's a fine one.
I think when you're building a team, you just need guys that can do more than one thing. Yep. You need guys that are going to just shore up that bench. Yep. As we discussed before with the Kings, there were just too many one-sided players. I only do defense or I only do offense. Torrey Craig can give you a little bit of both. He's been in the league. He's been around. He's a veteran guy. And I know he probably wants to get paid more, but that's a good thing about going to some of these teams. I don't know how high on the list Torrey Craig is for some of the aforementioned players in their teams in the league that are going to have that big money. So I just think Torrey Craig is probably the most realistic option.
Agreed.
And I'm okay with that.
Yep.
I'm okay with
problems.
that. All right. Coming up next, we continue the conversation, and we got Biggs up next. We know somebody wants to talk about beef stew, so we will do just that. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
The NFL's leading rusher plays here.
A handoff to McCaffrey, walks in the end zone. Handoff to McCaffrey, takes it right down to the goal line. He does his thing again. McCaffrey goes in motion right. Backwards pass led by Juszczyk. A block there. Hurdles a man. 10-5. Touchdown! CMC!
You can hear all of Christian McCaffrey's touchdowns on your home for 49ers football. Sactown Sports.
The best things in life, they come in twos. 2 scoops of ice cream, 2 tacos. And now for a limited time, get our best deal of the year. Buy any phone when you switch to Consumer Cellular and get 2 months of service free. That's right, the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage as Big Wireless, now with 2 months free. Proof the best things in life really do come in twos. Visit consumercellular.com or call 1-888-FREEDOM. Second and third month of monthly base service fee waived for new customers with the purchase of a phone and activation by July 31st, 2024. Taxes, fees, and third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
If you need bold banners to boost your business,
but you're on a budget, think Staples. Because now at Staples, you can save up to $50 on your print purchase. From posters and flyers to signs and menus, Staples can print anything you need to move your business forward. And with Staples Print Perfect guarantee, it's done right or it's printed again free. Plus, same-day service is available on hundreds of items if you order by noon. Get it printed right at Staples. And now get up to $50 off your print purchase. N76, visit staples.com/print for details.
Keep your family cool and comfortable this summer with Bell Brothers' best summer ever financing event. When you replace your AC system, we're offering 0 payments, 0 interest for 6 months on approved credit, then low fixed rate thereafter. That's right, 0 payments, 0 interest for 6 months on any new AC system. It's an incredible offer on an incredible new AC system, but only for a limited time. This offer is also available on any plumbing, water heater, or insulation projects over $1,000. So call Bell Brothers now. Your family will thank you because they'll be cool and comfortable. But you have to hurry. Our offer for 0 payment, 0 interest for 6 months, then low fixed rate thereafter ends soon. Estimates and second opinions are free. So call now to keep your family cool and comfortable during Bell Brothers' best summer ever event. Our number is 916-444-1234 or find us online at theNoSurpriseGuys.com. That's theNoSurpriseGuys.com.
The No Surprise Guys, Bell Brothers.
18 number ones.
What was I thinking?
Countless ACM and CMA awards. Sold out world tours. And now, Dierks Bentley is coming to Sacramento for Country in the Park 2. September 28th at Hart Health Park at Cal Expo with Parmalee, Kelsey Hart and more, plus line dancing, food trucks, and more. Tickets available now at CITVFest.com.
Brought to you by Bonnie Electrical Heating and Air and the U.S. Marines.
It's the Make This the Summer event, and it's going on now at Lodi Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Hi, everyone. Leonard Harrington here, and I want to tell you how we make your buying experience at Lodi CDJR as easy as possible. You can come in for a visit, or you can do everything online at LodiCDJR.com. Just pick out the make and model you want and scroll through our large in-stock inventory. Next, schedule a test drive at the click of a button. If you want to finance your vehicle, you can start your paperwork online too, saving you plenty of time before you get here. And if you're looking to sell your vehicle or looking to buy, we'll give you an instant cash offer online too. At Lodi Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, we make it easier than ever to put you into a new vehicle. It's what we do. Online at LodiCDJR.com or in person. We're right off 99 in Kettleman, where we're open till 9 every night and Sundays after church.
Prices are better at the Low Price Center. Lodi Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
Visit us at LodiCDJR.com.
Hey, what's up? Kyle Draper from Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. I've had my new Mercedes-Benz EQS SUV for about 6 months now, and it's still the best car driving experience that I've ever had. And I got some news for you. Mercedes-Benz of Stockton doesn't just have cars or SUVs. They also have Sprinter vans, and they have special rates starting at 4.9% APR and an $8,000 discount on over 30 vans in stock. So head on down there right now to Mercedes-Benz of Stockton and check out their new Sprinter vans. Just a short drive right off the 5 in Stockton.
You could say so. Sure, why not? Yeah, Kevin Huerter's a great shooter. He's probably he is a better pure shooter than Tim Hardaway, 1,000%. Hardaway does some things off the dribble that I just enjoy.
Yeah. That's a good one though.
Yeah, it's about the same. I mean, they probably have similar
getting paid. Basically the same thing.
Yeah, I think so. I think, Hardaway might make a little bit more, which I guess might lean it a little towards Kevin Huerter. But, I kind of think of Tim Hardaway more of like a souped-up Terrence Davis. So they kind of do different things. But, they play the same position. It's just kind of a matter of what you like more.
Coming up, at 1 p.m. Tickets, family 4-pack of 3-day passes to the California Classic Summer League, July 6th, 7th, and 9th. Also, kick it with your boys Wednesday at Public House for the NBA draft party. Regardless of who they pick, if they trade it, I will be there having an outstanding time. All right, Nate. We know everybody wants to talk about the bigs.
Yes.
How do we get Sabonis to play the 4? Chris and I haven't been on that train, but a lot of Kings fans are on that train. Give us the bigs, Nate.
All right, we're going to start off hot here.
Let's do it.
Beef stew.
Ooh.
Isaiah Stewart with the Pistons. The Pistons are currently evaluating the trade market for him, and that's per Jake Fisher. Beef Stew's only 23 years old, averaging almost 11 points per game, 6.5 rebounds, 1.6 assists while shooting 38.8% on 3. Beef Stew is set to make $15 million for the next 4 seasons. We also have, and forgive me, I'm a casual. I'm an NBA casual.
Goga Batadze.
Goga Batadze, the number 18th overall pick from the 2019 NBA draft. He's a player that many contending teams are targeting as a backup big option in the vet minimum market. Clippers, Heat, Kings, Knicks, Mavs, Pelicans, and Suns are all teams they're expected to show interest. He's 24 years old, averages 5 points a game, 4.5 rebounds, 1.3 assists, and 1.2 blocks. He's got some defense.
Yes, sir.
In 15.5 minutes per game with the Magic. We also have Mitchell Robinson, a name you're hearing a lot, maybe because he plays for the Knicks. The Knicks and Wizards have recent dialogue around a potential trade involving Mitchell Robinson, and that's per Ian Begley. New York is hopeful to resign Isaiah Hartenstein to a long-term deal as their starting center, while Robinson, who's 26 years old, will make $14 million this season, and the following season he'll be making $12 million. We have Walker Kessler. Jeez, excuse me.
I like the Boston accent. Yeah, Walker Kessler.
Walker Kessler. He parked his car in Harvard Yard. The Utah Jazz could trade Walker Kessler, and another per Jake Fisher. There appears to be a wide range of starting caliber big men available for trade. Rival teams believe Utah is willing to engage in trade talks that would part ways with Jazz second-year center Walker Kessler, who's 22. And also, I'd like to say, are the Kings technically rivals with Utah? I mean, same Western.
Maybe in the past. In the past, they were. You know, they had a good playoff series at one time.
90s, early 2000s.
Yeah, Western Conference.
I just want to know if they're being lumped into this trade talk with rival teams.
I think the Kings are on a lot of lists along with really all of these Western Conference teams. The same thing they said for Batadze. And, you know, Chris, the thing is with Isaiah Stewart and Kessler, you're looking at 2 situations where I think you have 2 guys that would come off the bench and 2 guys that would possibly start. Isaiah Stewart is interesting because he is only 6'8", but he's a big, thick 6'8".
Yeah.
Do you think if Beef Stew came to the Kings, he would start?
I feel like it might depend if Harrison Barnes is still on the roster. I think, oh man, I don't know. He's kind of like just on that borderline to where you would think he would, because he is like, he's a really valuable player. I think there's a lot of situations in which he would start. I think he probably would. And that's kind of where I think it gets a little bit murky. It kind of depends on how much, because I will confess here, I haven't watched a ton of Pistons games. I've seen some Beef Stew. I was definitely unfamiliar with his 3-point shooting prowess, like 38% on a couple of attempts per game. It's definitely not nothing. If he really is that good of a shooter, I think you can definitely make it work. And he also brings a lot of the things that we've been talking about that this team needs that you can't really quantify, like toughness, like physicality, like a dude who's willing to kind of mix it up a bit. There's the infamous Isaiah Stewart running through everybody to try and get to LeBron, you know. So I do think that there's some of the edge that you really like, but I'm also looking at Beef Stew's game logs, and rookie season 68 games, second season 71. Then 2 seasons ago he played 50. Last season he only played 46 games. So that's 2 seasons in a row of really only playing 100 out of a total of 164. So that's a lot of missed games, and he has definitely produced, but I just kind of feel like there's more perfect fits there, and Isaiah Stewart could be a fit, but it's not something that just instantly makes sense for me. And so I wouldn't be all in on doing it. Plus, yeah, like Nate said, he's making $15 million each season, the next 4 seasons. He just got a new contract, which he hasn't even started, or he's starting it this coming season. So I don't love Isaiah Stewart at that number. I'm a big fan of Walker Kessler. Walker Kessler still on his rookie deal. He, in his rookie season, was one of the best shot blockers in the NBA. If you're kind of looking for a poor man's Brook Lopez almost, Walker Kessler does not shoot nearly as well or as much as Brook Lopez does, but more so on the defensive end, someone who knows his role, isn't going to step out of it, and you can maybe view it like a better version of what Alex Len gave you. I think Walker Kessler could start. I think he could come off the bench, but most importantly, I think he's somebody who's just very okay with the role that he would be given.
Yeah, I think the issue with Walker Kessler is Danny Ainge.
Of course,
I just don't know that the Kings would be able to get a deal without giving up their firstborn or their left hand without,
that might be something worth 13, maybe 13 for Kessler. Like, I know he's still on his rookie contract, so he's probably not making too much money.
Yeah.
And that again might be, like we like to point out, the Bobby Portis situation, where if you're going to try and throw players in there, you're probably, Chris Duarte for Walker Kessler, one side is definitely getting a lot more out of that deal. So yeah, that's another element of that too.
Yeah, but I do like Walker Kessler a lot. And I know a lot of fans like Walker Kessler. It's just a matter of what Danny Ainge is willing to give up. And then obviously you have the 2 others that I think Mitchell Robinson would come off the bench. I mean, he's making 14 mil and then 12 mil the next season. So right around there where you're okay with either. Do you see Mitchell Robinson? Now, here's the thing, Walker Kessler, Isaiah Stewart, you're okay with because they can both, help stretch the floor. Mitchell Robinson doesn't do that. So then the conversation becomes that same old conversation of Sabonis at the 4. I don't like that. I just don't.
Yeah, no, I think it's a little bit tough. And, he's a fantastic shot blocker, but he's also somebody who gets in foul trouble a lot. He's also somebody who has a checkered injury history as well. I think I like the player Mitchell Robinson. I honestly don't mind the number either, 14 and then 12 the next season. But yeah, it's not, again, it's just not really a perfect fit. And I'm, again, just somebody who wholeheartedly believes that Sabonis is at the 5. And Mitchell, to me, feels a little, I want to say just a little bit overqualified to be a backup at that point. I feel like a lot of what he does great would ideally be somebody that you would want to give good minutes to. And I just don't know how much time the Kings are ever going to allocate to their backup center with Sabonis, especially as games get more and more important. Of course, during the regular season, he could definitely help. But if we're talking about raising the ceiling of this team potentially, Mitchell Robinson, Sabonis is going to play 40 minutes in a playoff game is what I'll always say. I just don't know how many minutes that allows for Mitchell Robinson to have impact.
Yeah, and
also somebody who probably gets played off the floor in playoff games.
Sure. And he got Wally pipped pretty much, from the situation in New York. And
Isaiah Hartenstein stepped in, no problem.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, they didn't miss him at all.
That's what I'm saying. And I know you wanted to get into Goga.
Yeah,
as well.
No, that's really, really short. It's just he's like an ultimate flyer. He's somebody you're going to sign on a minimum deal, like's kind of being reported. I think, like you said too, the problem is going to be that's just about every team in there contending or in that middle to contending level.
He could
Clippers,
ring chase at 24. He could basically ring chase at 24.
Amazing.
But here's my thing, because I saw Jillian Adge, who is basically the queen of King's Twitter. She's talking about Goga. What is the allure? If no one has watched him play, but what is the allure?
He's a shooter for sure. He's a really, really good shooter. He is also a good shot blocker. I mean, 1.2 blocks per game is really decent, and it's just that you believe that there's more there than what's been showed. He got a couple minutes when he was in Indiana, I believe, and then when he was in Orlando, he did have a role for a small amount of time, and just kind of had his minutes pulled and went back and forth with them. I just think that there's more there than what we've seen, and to me, that's what's so exciting. Actually, I'm looking at his 3-point numbers. I thought his 3-point numbers were a lot better than what they were. They're actually terrible. He's not a shooter at all. I swear. Okay. Well, I am off on that point, but it's definitely the rim protection element of it, and the fact that he is just a really, really solid backup center, somebody who has given really good minutes in the past. And I think, again, the belief is that there's more there than what we've seen. I definitely would have been more on board if his shooting was where I thought it was, but I'm looking at it here, and the most he's ever taken is 1.5 or 1.8 threes per game in his second season. He shot 25%. He's never shot higher than 28% from three. So he is a complete non-shooter, which is just something that I thought was a part of his game that it's apparently not. And he's also a really bad free throw shooter. So it's definitely just the hope that there's more there and the defensive promise that he's already shown.
Coming up next, we continue the conversation. This is where we have a little bit of fun. How can the Kings improve on their free throws? Last place, really? Their free throws. Rob, also, we see you. We will get to you on the other side right when we get back, and more of your calls, your texts, your Sack Chat. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Domantas Sabonis plays here.
He finds Sabonis, put the frosting on the cake, put the cherry on the sundae. Sabonis with a two-hand flush makes it 114-106.
Sactown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
Let's face it, nothing makes you look older than you really are than thinning hair. But what if you could not only increase your hair count, but promote new hair growth without surgery, without drugs with potential side effects, and without a prescription from your doctor? Well, now you can, thanks to a breakthrough new supplement called Hair Grow, provided by New Nordic, the #1 supplier of dietary supplements in Europe. Hair Grow is now available in the U.S. Only Hair Grow contains tocopherol, a powerful antioxidant that has received a U.S. patent. Multiple clinical studies show Hair Grow is safe and effective in promoting new hair growth. In one study, 95% of the patients using Hair Grow saw increased hair count. Don't lose more time and more hair. Try Hair Grow today to feel and look your best. Available online at Amazon, Walmart.com, and NewNordicUSA.com, or in stores at your local CVS. Look younger and feel more confident with Hair Grow by New Nordic at NewNordicUSA.com, or in stores at your local CVS.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for my good friends at American Energy. Now, I've told you this before, but this is what we call extending a good deal. Right now, American Energy Heat and Air is offering an HVAC diagnostic for $99. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Never mind. They're offering it free. It's a $99 value, but you get it for $0. Let the American Energy team test your system connections and all the moving parts of that system to ensure that it's functioning properly. Now, this is a limited time offer. Call today to schedule your appointment at 916-520-9990. Speak to the company that has an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau that's been making the greater Sacramento area proud since 1981. 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com. Tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Stuck in a downtown meeting marathon? Need a post-work pick-me-up? Head over to Public House Downtown, the corner of 16th and L Streets. That's right, Public House Downtown, your one-stop shop for good times. With 60 beers on tap, come catch the game on 25 HD TVs. Public House Downtown serves up creative American food all day long. Lunch, happy hour, dinner, and even weekend brunch. Public House Downtown. Food, beer, sports. Want to see the menu or plan your visit? Check out their website at phdowntown.com. Find your crew and find your fun at Public House Downtown.
Right now, you're missing all the fun at the Hagen Oaks Driving Range powered by Top Tracer. It's the place to be this summer in Sacramento. Whether you're an accomplished player or a newbie, there's something for everyone at the Hagen Oaks Nighttime Driving Range. Golf is happening right now, and the Hagen Oaks Driving Range is the perfect place to see what the fuss is all about. The Hangout Food Truck offers tasty bites and craft beers on the brand new relaxed patio, and with a free concert schedule, there's always something for everyone at the Hagen Oaks Driving Range. Join the fun tonight until midnight. Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway.
Maida Chevy saves you $12,000 off MSRP on every new half-ton Silverado LT Turbo Max. In stock after rebates. Always 5 to choose from.
Exclusive. All in-stock pricing at MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
TBO for details. N7120.
Sactown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
1 p.m., your chance to win family 4-pack of 3-day passes to the California Classic Summer League, July 6th, 7th, and 9th. Got to be quick, 916-339-1140. Phone lines on fire already, so we know that you know the number. But just in case you are a new listener, thank you for listening. If you've been rocking with us, thank you for rocking with us. Stiles and Watkins. Also, if you're going to be in the Sacramento downtown area, Public House, I will be in the building. Stiles and Watkins. Watkins may be in the building. I might have to buy him a steak sandwich in order to get him to go. And we will be enjoying all things Sacramento Kings NBA draft. And speaking of, we will get to the NBA draft and the new mock draft. This one, I believe, is from ESPN.com.
Yes, yep.
And we will discuss that. Ron Holland, a name that is starting to pop up a bit, 6'8". So we'll see what he's all about. I've watched his highlights. He's from the G League if you want to check him out. But we're about to have some fun with the free throws as De'Aaron. We have audio from De'Aaron that we will play in a second. But we are men of our word. And Rob has been hanging on. We want to get to Rob, 916-339-1140 if you want to be part of the conversation. What's up, Rob? What you got for us?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Great. How you doing?
Doing good. Thanks for taking the call. What I'm calling about falls right in line with what we were just talking about. Martin too. Honestly, I've been watching him for the last 2 years. I know it wasn't as great as year last year, but you got to look at young guys. Like, you got to find a role for them, and that's consistent. And maybe a good thing for him could be a change of scenery. Like him, I was watching Jalen Smith from Indiana. You watch when these guys are growing up, but they're looking for teams with defined roles, and they're looking for a decent payday. We got that mid-level, so I mean that might be worth extending that offer to one of those two guys. I'd throw Isaiah Hartenstein. You guys are just talking about him. I'd go take a look at him too, because I mean, when you look at those three teams, they have higher priorities as far as who they need to sign and who they're going to try to retain this year. So, but what I was going to throw out there is no one's been talking about him, and no one's been talking about this. We just saw the Raptors extend, right?
Yep, Scotty Barnes, yeah.
Barnes. And so you got to wonder what's going to happen to Emmanuel quickly. He's sitting there in Chicago Toronto, excuse me. He's looking for a defined role, and he's not exactly a bad player by any stretch of the imagination.
No.
He could fit real well here, be it off the bench or as a starter. I think he would find a home here. I've got to say I'd be real hard pressed not to make a move for him. And like I said, I started with Caleb Martin and Jalen Smith. I'd be looking at those three guys, and I'd be giving them more than just a little bit of a look. Just wanted to see what you guys are thinking on that.
No, thanks for the call, Rob, as always. Well, I would say I think Isaiah Hartenstein is going to get priced out. I mean, there were discussions about this man getting close to $100 million, and he really, really made some money for himself during that postseason run, which is why Mitchell Robinson now is going to be looking for a home. As far as Caleb Martin is concerned, I think Chris and I are right there with you if the price is right. Emmanuel Quickly, look, me and Chris have been doing the show. October will be a year, but I'm going to guess what Chris would say as far as Emmanuel Quickly. So tell me if I'm right or wrong, Chris. I believe that you would say, I like Emmanuel Quickly. I think he's got a lot of promise, but he just feels a bit redundant now that we are, even though the Kings need another ball handler for the price that he's probably going to cost, getting Malik Monk back might just be a little bit too redundant.
Do I even need to be here?
Wow.
Do I feel
there
like,
you go.
You replace me on the remote. You can replace me on the show.
Dave, and I got to talk to Dave about that.
We gotta clear that up.
You don't do that on the air, Dave.
People might actually believe it.
I like Emmanuel Quickly. I don't know. They need another ball handler, but I want more of a. I mean, we keep on talking about Tyus. The reason I guess we haven't talked about Tyus Jones is because we just think he's going to be too expensive.
Be priced out, I think.
But that's who I want as the third ball handler, just a pass first guy 100%. That can hit the open three when necessary. I love him. I love to watch Emmanuel Quickly, but I don't know if. I mean, can you imagine Emmanuel Quickly and Malik on the floor at the same time?
No, for two reasons. One, like it's probably not going to happen, and B, like it would be nuts. I mean, just the scoring.
I mean,
like,
it would
those
be dope
two would
from It would be
from a highlight perspective. Crazy.
Yes.
People touching earth like crazy.
Right.
Yeah, just the lobs that those two could throw each other, it would just be absolutely nuts. The problem is also, it should definitely be mentioned, Immanuel Quickley is a restricted free agent, and so it's just about impossible for the Kings to throw an offer that would be enough for Immanuel Quickley to want to accept, and then B, something that the team wouldn't be able to match. So we're living a bit in fantasy land here, but I love, like you said, I love Quickley as a player. It's just he is Malik Monk. He's a different version of Malik Monk, and you really can only afford to have one, maybe two of those guys on the floor at the same time, and one of them's going to have to take a back seat. So I love all the players mentioned. Jalen Smith as well is a really, really good piece. Definitely go tune into the drive, guys. If you call in, ask Whitey Gleason about Jalen Smith. He'll go on for 5 minutes for you. But we've got packed phone lines, so we got to keep pushing.
And I also not sure defensively if Mike Brown would love Immanuel Quickley. Some of those younger guys, you kind of convince them to compete on that end. And maybe you could, but good call there.
Yes.
916-339-1140. Let's go to Dwayne, we see you. Edward, we see you. But let's go to David, who wants to be a part of the free throw conversation. Okay, David, you got some ideas to help the Kings from getting out of the basement with the free throws?
Yeah, I do. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
kind of, but keep
Get
going.
off speaker.
All right, hold on here. So let me see if I can make it better. How's that? That better?
Better, much better.
Okay. Hey, guys, this is just one of the easy ones to do. It's just practice. I had a coach when I played. He said, I want you to make 20 in a row before you can leave the court. I didn't have a good free throw. I started doing that then. And then I took mine from like 55% to like 73%. And just a few short weeks. All it is body mechanics, get your rhythm, keep to the rhythm, and aim at the same spot every time, and just do it over and over. Darren probably should do 100 before he leaves the court. 100 in a row. Have all these guys different positions go on different, maybe some of the guys who aren't so hot. I want 20 in a row before you leave. But you have to hit 20 in a row. It's going to give them confidence. But this is it's just practice, muscle memory, and get yourself in a rhythm.
No, thanks for the call, David.
Can we get David on the team? Because David's shooting the same free throw percentage as De'Aaron Fox.
Yeah, pretty much. And I would say this, and I'm big on sports psychology and kind of the mental side of things. I know that they practice a lot. We've talked so much about when Brendan, Frankie, and when you guys are at the practices, they're putting up shots. Free throws. Free throws. They need to put up everything. I would say that you probably need to bring somebody else into the building. I don't know. I think it's past practicing by yourself. I think you need to bring in somebody that is just going to give them whoever. I would put out a note. Whoever has the most unique take on free throws, come on down and let's see if that hits. Yes, any and all ideas. You can go, granny style, whatever you need to do. 916-339-1140. Edward, we see you. Let's get to Dwayne first. Dwayne, what you got for us?
Hey, what's up? What's up with Marcellus, man? Listen, first thing I got to say is that Quigley caller, man, don't be calling back no more with no more advice, bro.
Why?
That was bad. No way, bro. The last thing we need, we're not looking for guards, bro.
Yeah.
We're looking, especially if you're sticking with Donovan Mitchell, bro. And we definitely don't need a guard that's on the outs who don't play no defense.
Yeah.
Come on, bro. Like, that was a terrible call. You guys were being nice, man. I hope you're still listening, man. Don't be calling back with
No. We accept all callers.
Right.
That was just part of the call. That was only part of the call.
We're trying to get this right, man. We're too close to be messing around, even trying to go backwards at all now, man. It's full throttle. And I'll tell you why. We go out, we get Edey, bro. Just draft Zach Edey, bro. I'm telling you, it's going to be good for the team. He even makes free throws. You know what I'm saying?
He does.
You take the Harrison Barnes and Herder, bro, and go get some length, athleticism, and some defense the same way Dallas went and got those guys. Mm-hmm. And there's guys out there. So I'll take a Brandon Ingram. Who I really want is Obi Toppin or like a Larry Nance Jr. Because now we're messing with the Pelicans. We're going to stop that whole Pelican thing, man. We need to quit that, bro.
Yes.
So we need length, athleticism, free throws, and we can do that if we get Edie and then get one of those long guys that are athletic, with them long wingspans. So let me know what you think about that, brother.
Thanks for the call, Dwayne. Thanks for the call. But we are not doing collar beef. No collar beef. All right. No collar beef. No collar beef. All right, but good stuff there.
Yeah.
I brought up Obi before. I'm big on Obi.
No, I like Obi a lot. I definitely think he's somebody to kick the tires on for sure. He's another guy, like I kind of said about Goga. Like the belief is that there's something more there than what you're already seeing. And real quick, I just want to give, because David, when he was mentioning his free throw story, it just reminded me of something I saw the other day from Josh Richardson talking about Heat culture and what really Heat culture is. He says the first day when he was drafted to Miami, he was in the gym, empty gym, just by himself, taking corner threes, taking 100 of them. And he was like, all right, I'm just going to, whatever, take them. He said he hit like 60 of them. Spoelstra walks in the building. He said, hey, man, you working out? Gives him, I'll rebound for you, everything. And he's like, make 70. Tries to make 70 first time. He doesn't get it. He's like, all right, give me a suicide real quick. All right, he does a suicide, runs back. All right, let's make 70. He makes 69 out of 99. He says on the last shot, he bricks it. Spo says, give me a suicide. Wow. You're going to make 70. And he didn't leave the gym until he made 70 out of 100 corner threes. So to David's point, like, yeah, sometimes it does sound like, yeah, these guys practice. But are you practicing in the right conditions? Are you putting stakes on the line?
That's
are you
true.
putting pressure on the line? Or are you just, I'm just,
I missed it.
It's like, you're just swinging
But
a tennis
that goes
racket.
back to the comfortable thing.
Yeah. Oh,
Funny
totally.
enough,
Yeah,
it goes
totally.
back to Barbosa. You can't leave comfortable. And I don't think they're leaving after misses, because I don't think any hooper leaves after a miss. But can you be comfortable?
Yeah.
Can you? And I know it's hard to replicate the stakes, but I hear what you're saying, because anybody, it's the BP heroes. Batting practice, you had the guy that was 6'3".
Right.
He would hit 8,000 home runs during batting practice, and all the scouts would be looking at him, and then the game would come, and hey, where you at? And then they get drafted anyway because they got projectable. We see Edward, TC, we see you. And will the collar beef continue? I think there might be a rebuttal if we're just going to lean into it. If we all keep it good, if we all keep it between the lines, Nate's telling me not to. Okay, we're going off the Richter scale. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Did you miss any part of our live local shows? Don't worry, you never have to miss them again. Check out SactownSports.com and search our podcast page and play our shows when you want. The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Plus, other podcasts like Return of the Empire, Return of the Roar, the Stingers Up podcast, and Golf to Go with Frank LaRosa.
They're all available right now on SactownSports.com.
I didn't ask to be thrown in the streets with nowhere to go. I didn't think I'd survive. But I did ask for help, and Covenant House was there for me.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year. For these kids who didn't ask to be put in this unthinkable situation, Covenant House is there.
Covenant House helped me break the cycle of homelessness in my family. They gave me the love that I needed.
Over 2,000 young people will sleep safely in a Covenant House bed tonight. When youth who are experiencing homelessness have a hot meal, a safe place to sleep, medical care, and love, they can overcome heartbreaking challenges and have a brighter future.
They just really genuinely just wanted to help me succeed, and I'm succeeding. I'm a speaker, I'm an author. Covenant House really helped me and really helped mold me into the woman I am today.
If you or someone you love is asking for help, go to safeplacetosleep.org today.
I want to learn how to cook, but I keep ordering takeout.
Accomplishing goals is hard, but when your goal is to learn a new language, Babbel makes it easy. In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel will help you start having conversations in as little as 3 weeks. Words and phrases you'll actually use. So when someone asks, "How's your French going?" you can say,
Babbel facilite grandement l'apprentissage d'une nouvelle langue.
Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with the right skills, sends you great matches, then you can easily invite them to apply. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
It's a myth to think you don't play golf well enough to get fitted for golf clubs. The professionals at the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio would argue that playing the game with golf clubs properly fitted to your body and swing characteristics is the best way to improve your game and have more fun on the golf course. With a professional staff of fitters, all the major brands of equipment, and cutting-edge technology featuring TrackMan, the indoor-outdoor Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio is worth a look. See for yourself. Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway. Schedule your fitting at 916-808-2531. 808-2531. Since 1776, July 4th has been celebrated as the birth of American independence, but it's been a federal holiday only since 1941. Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. It was a mere 7 years later when the Keys family opened their first Naturewood store in Sacramento. And I guess Northern Californians have been celebrating ever since. We celebrate an incredible selection of furniture brands made right here in America. We celebrate the kind of generous hometown hospitality that was important to Walter Keys in 1948 and continues with the Keys family and the Naturewood Home Furnishing staff today. And we celebrate the kind of quality that's been synonymous with Naturewood for all these 76 years. Look for made in America brands like Stanton, Sam Moore, Stickley, Hilltop Hickory, Simply Amish, and more during the Naturewood 4th of July sale event. Find the furniture that you will celebrate for years to come. Naturewood Home Furnishings, off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
Keep your family cool and comfortable this summer with Bell Brothers' best summer ever financing event. When you replace your AC system, we're offering 0 payments, 0 interest for 6 months on approved credit, then low fixed rate thereafter. That's right, 0 payments, 0 interest for 6 months on any new AC system. It's an incredible offer on an incredible new AC system, but only for a limited time. This offer is also available on any plumbing, water heater, or insulation projects over $1,000. So call Bell Brothers now. Your family will thank you because they'll be cool and comfortable. But you have to hurry. Our offer for 0 payment, 0 interest for 6 months, then low fixed rate thereafter ends soon. Estimates and second opinions are free. So call now to keep your family cool and comfortable during Bell Brothers' best summer ever event. Our number is 916-444-1234 or find us online at theNoSurpriseGuys.com. That's theNoSurpriseGuys.com.
The No Surprise Guys, Bell Brothers.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
Are you tired of your tee shots ending up in the adjoining fairway while the rest of your foursome is hitting it down the middle? Well, experts will tell you that being properly fitted for golf clubs will help you strike your drive center cut. The Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio and its team of trained PGA professionals are ready to help you get rid of your banana balls and duck hooks. Hagen Oaks Indoor-Outdoor Player Performance Studio fittings are available 7 days a week. Make yours today by calling 916-808-2531. That's 808-2531.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, your new home for 49ers football in the 916.
Sactown Sports. Live and local. Live and local.
This is Sactown Sports.
1 hour, technically less than 1 hour, till we give away family 4-pack of 3-day passes. California Classic Summer League, July 6th, 7th, and 9th. Calls have been ridiculous. We love it, and hopefully some of you callers, some of you texters, some of you Sac chatters, we'll all kick it on Wednesday at Public House. Slide through, come kick it with your boy.
Squash your beef.
Squash your beef. Maybe we'll just all circle up. And just do, instead of a rap battle, just sports takes. Whoever wins gets a free basket of fries from Public House. All right, let's continue the conversation because the phone lines are nearly filled up. We're going to make everyone wait a little bit for Rob's rebuttal because Edward and TC have been hanging out. Let's get to Edward first, who wants to be a part of the conversation. What's up, Edward? You're on Stiles and Watkins. What you got for us?
Well, you had a segment on big men. You mentioned 4 guys, none of whom Monty is interested in, and he shouldn't be.
Mm-hmm.
The one guy Monty is going to sign, no one is mentioning. I can't believe it. It's so obvious. The Kings are not a building team anymore. They don't need guys with potential. They need one guy who can blend with the others and go to the championship round. And that guy is Jonas Valanciunas. I don't know how to pronounce his name.
You nailed it.
Huh?
You nailed it.
Yeah, I mean, he's a free agent. I don't think they signed him the way we signed Malik because I don't think they can afford to.
Right.
Zion makes $50 million and Ingram makes $40. You know, they just have to let him go. He's played on the national team with DeMonis, with DeMonis playing the 4 and him playing the 5. He's a guy who can play outside the three-point line, and DeMonis can play on offense down low. But on defense, he guards the paint. And I will tell you one thing about him. The last time New Orleans was in to play us and beat us, they then went and played the Warriors. In that game, Kevon Looney got his 3rd foul in the second quarter. And it was a play that could have been challenged. And Kerr didn't challenge it. He just took him out. Valanciunas scored the next 14 points of the game, all on dunks or lobs.
Yeah.
So that guy can play inside, but he can also shoot threes and play on the outside and give Sabonis room.
Yeah, I think that's a great call, Edward. And we've definitely, thank you, we've definitely brought up Valanciunas before, Chris. I don't know if we've ever had the conversation about I guess whenever we have the conversation of Valanciunas or Sabonis at the 4, and whoever at the 5, it's just because Sabonis is the smaller player. And we discuss, okay, well, you can't stretch the floor because Sabonis doesn't really shoot threes. If Valanciunas was the 5 and he can stretch the floor, do you think the Kings can get away with it? Because I believe the last time we had the Valanciunas conversation, it was essentially what we talked about with Mitchell Robinson. He's a little bit overqualified to be a backup.
Yeah.
But do you think there is a world where Sabonis and Valanciunas can both start?
I think so. I think, again, it kind of comes at the sacrifice of Valanciunas. I think Valanciunas is like an easy 20, maybe 25-minute per game guy. I just don't know if that necessarily opportunity is going to present itself here. Also, I mean, Valanciunas.
What if he's starting, though?
I mean, if he's starting even then, like, I think his minutes still probably plateau some point because I don't think they can finish. I wouldn't think that would be their best 5 lineup is Valanciunas in there. The reason why we haven't talked about it much to answer Edward's question is because, I mean, especially initially, now the Kings probably can't afford him. Again, with Malik Monk signing, they now have $5 million as their mid-level exception instead of $12 million, pretty much 13, which is right around where Valanciunas was making last season. But, I mean, it's just that, especially then when they even had the money, it's because, is that really where you want to spend you had an opportunity at that time to spend $13 million on a player where you wouldn't be able to spend it otherwise. Was that really the route you wanted to go with that? Or would you want to spend that money on a position of need? Because backup center, yes, or center is still a position of need, but is it really the thing that you think this Kings team desperately needs the most? Instead of getting depth at that wing spot, instead of maybe getting a backup point guard, you would identify backup center as the bigger priority. I just feel like, especially in today's NBA, you can find mid-level, not literally mid-level, but I mean like middling bigs for pretty cheap. And I just feel like value-wise, it was never really there. But to answer your actual on-the-floor question, I think they could play together, but I think it's a lot easier to play together in the international game than it is in the NBA. The NBA is a little bit more free-flowing, a little bit faster pace, and I just still think at the end of the day, defense is the problem as well. Yes, offensively is one problem to solve, but defensively, if you have Jonas and Sabonis out there, one of those two is getting switched on the guard, and you're getting
that's a
cooked.
great point.
So that's a big part of the reason why guys like Evan Mobley, why a Chet Holmgren would be a perfect fit, because offensively they do what you need them to do in terms of stretching the floor to an extent, but defensively they're still able to switch and they're able to protect the rim. That's why it's been so hard to find this perfect person that can complement Sabonis in all these ways.
Yeah, and as we went through all the different players and positions, we probably could have just done forwards because that's what we're focused on.
Right.
But at the same time, when Alex Len is possibly on the way out and JaVale McGee may possibly be on the way out, you do need a backup big.
Yeah.
But do you want to put all your chips in the table for that backup big, too big? And then you have to, I think it does alter the way they play. And that's not to say it's a bad thing. I mean, when you're the 9 seed, anything is on the table. But it just depends on how much money you want to put on the table. Rob, all right, we're gonna hold. We got you next, Rob. So be ready with whatever you got. But let's get to TC because we know TC. What do you think about the caller beef, TC?
Hey, the caller beef. You know what? I'm not gonna get in the middle of that, bro. Because everybody got that team. Hey, hold on, wait a minute. Everybody's entitled to their opinion, bro. So but the smart move, though, all Kings fans got an idea, bro, and we're real smart fans. That's what I'm going to get this fan base. Die hard, I love everybody.
That's right. Yep.
But, dead serious, bro, it's Kuzma. Kuzma's the move, bro. Seriously. If we're at 13, I get it, bro. That's the pick. There's no other guy. I don't care about the guy from Sac McCain, the dude from I don't care about, bro. It's either Zach Edey or Ware, bro, at 13, period, point blank. And I'm with the other caller with Valanciunas. I've been saying Valanciunas. If we're going to get Val, I like that idea at Domas at the 4, bro. Just shoot 3-pointers and let's play bully ball with these guys. But if not, if we're keeping that pick, bro, if it's not going to the Wizards for Kyle Kuzma and Kevin, we're draft Zach Edey, dog, period, point blank, and bring Alex Len back. You need those 2 7-footers. If you got, imagine if we had Zach Edey and Alex Len on the bench, bro, with Domas, Monk, and say if we do pull off that Kuzma trade, bro, that's nasty. You have to have 2 big bodies. That 13 pick, if we keep it, bro, that is not a guard pick. That is not the guy from Sac. I love you, McCain, but you're not coming here, bro, period. Monte, you do not draft a point guard. You draft that boy Zach Edey or Ware. Those are the only picks. That's what I got. I'm not with the caller beef, bro, but everybody's entitled to their opinion. If you beef, you beef.
Love it.
Thanks for the call, TC.
All hits, no misses.
Great
always,
stuff.
Dude.
Great stuff. Man, are y'all trying to convince me about this Zach Edey thing?
All I'll say is
now I got to watch the highlights
set me up
again.
Perfectly to say I can't stop imagining Zach Edey on the bench. That's the problem. That's the only place I can imagine.
Will you stop it? Everybody wants Zach Edey now.
Everybody wants Zach Edey. This is crazy.
I was in the room when Fox said that thing about Zach Edey being big as heck, and I kind of was shocked he even mentioned his name. And then now I'm on the Edey train because I heard his name come out of Fox's mouth.
William Lama's on the Sac chat. Edey ain't gonna be there at 13.
I don't think he is.
Happening?
I think he's so hyped. I think he's gonna go in the top 10.
What is happening?
Zach Edey, Ricky Pearsall.
Oh,
enough.
He's a reach.
Actually, that's pretty spot on.
Dude, I hope the Kings take it.
339-1140. Let's get to Rob, who wants to come back into the conversation. Rob, we know. I saw you on the Sac chat. We're giving you the floor, Rob.
Oh, I love it. I love you guys. That's why I listen, because I'll be honest, no beef. I think the caller has a lot of valid points, to be very honest. But if you listen to my call, I named 3 guys that weren't guards. I named Caleb Martin, shoot small forward, Jalen Smith, center, and then what was the other guy? Hartenstein. That's the center. So I named 2 centers, a small forward, and a guard. I understand we got guards, but it's like the same reason you would look at Caleb Martin. You look at guys who have length and could become better defenders. And because Quickly, I like you guys talking about it right after I called. I was like, oh, they had great points. It would be a little redundant, but then you got to think, well, how great is it to watch Fox and Monk on the floor together?
Yeah.
Quickly and Monk, or Quickly and Fox, that could be dangerous. And if you are looking at Monk starting, you're going to have to find someone to run the floor and have the ball in their hands coming off the bench. Now, Quickly, okay, that might be a pipe dream, but that's why I started with Jalen Smith. Look at Jalen Smith. He's going to need a home. He's not going to cost as much as Valanciunas will cost.
Right.
I love Valanciunas. I'm big on the train. Drapes gives me a hard time because I think a lot of people in fact know Valanciunas. We've seen him for a long time. He's really slow in the pick and roll.
Yeah.
He's not the greatest in transition defense. And we can't have those two things when we already have a big center. I mean, Sabonis he hustles in the transition, but we need guys who are going to pick up that slack. And you can't have 2 or 3 guys on the floor who are slow on the transition defense. And like you guys are saying, what happens when Jonas Valanciunas or Domantas Sabonis has to switch out on a guard? We're getting burned all night long. And so that's why I'm looking Jalen Smith. Maybe, I mean, if you can afford to get a guy like, we're talking money, pipe dreams, go get Patrick Williams. Get him to stop dreaming about $30 million. Ask him if he wants to win and be like, okay, you want to win? We'll give you $15 million a year for 2 years. Talk to us after that. We'll see if we can get you 20. If you don't get injured, for 40 to 50 games of the season, and you show us that you're a knockdown 3-point shooter. I mean, he's got like 39.9% from threes. He's got what we would want. He's a rebounder. He shoots the 3 ball. He would fit well next to Sabonis on the starting lineup or coming off the bench. That's why I like Jalen Smith. He has a lot of upside. He might not shoot the 3 is great, but he plays hard-nosed defense. He rebounds, and he's great in transition defense. I think he's long enough that he's a capable perimeter defender. So you got to take chances on some guys. Sorry. I think you got to take chances on some guys. Valanciunas is a solid player, but you got to look at guys who are going to fit with our speed and our defense. You can't add a slower center to our roster. I think that's a bad idea.
Great stuff, Rob. You have defended your honor.
The sequel was so good.
No, it was really
Usually
good.
The sequel isn't as good as the
Thank
original.
you,
Dune 2, baby. Dune 2.
That's right. That was great stuff. No beef here. We're all just having fun with sports takes. It was great stuff. Yeah. And honestly, I instigated and called it a beef. So great stuff by the Kings fans, as always. We have some not necessarily breaking news, but pretty darn close.
There's some breaking in there.
Okay. There is some breaking in there from Anthony Slater and, of course, Sam Amick, 2 friends of the show, completely locked in. Do not go anywhere.
Yeah,
we react. Coming up next. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Can Mike Brown build on last season's Coach of the Year award? Can the Kings exceed 48 wins?
We will be better prepared to make the run that we expect to run come next playoff.
Tune into every Kings game this season on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Let's face it, nothing makes you look older than you really are than thinning hair. But what if you could not only increase your hair count, but promote new hair growth without surgery, without drugs with potential side effects, and without a prescription from your doctor? Well, now you can, thanks to a breakthrough new supplement called Hair Grow, provided by New Nordic, the #1 supplier of dietary supplements in Europe. Hair Grow is now available in the U.S. Only Hair Grow contains tocogaya, a powerful antioxidant that has received a U.S. patent. Multiple clinical studies show Hair Grow is safe and effective in promoting new hair growth. In one study, 95% of the patients using Hair Grow saw increased hair count. Don't lose more time and more hair. Try Hair Grow today to feel and look your best. Available online at Amazon, Walmart.com, and NewNordicUSA.com, or in stores at your local CVS. Look younger and feel more confident with Hair Grow by New Nordic at NewNordicUSA.com. or in stores at your local CVS.
When it breaks,
we have it first.
It's Sactown Sports Breaking News.
This one is from Sam Amick and Anthony Slater of The Athletic. 2 friends of the show, 2 friends of the station for sure. And they just dropped a piece on The Athletic in which, I guess the breaking news here, this is definitely more just a little peek inside to how this week might go. Mm-hmm. But like I said, there is a bit of breaking news in here. And again, this article is titled, "Why the Sacramento Kings Are Shopping Their number 13th Pick as Part of an Aggressive Offseason." And one of the first paragraphs in here is as follows. This is a quote again from Anthony Slater and Sam Amick in their newest article in The Athletic. "The Kings already tried to use it for a significant roster upgrade. They were close to a trade for defensive ace Alex Caruso last week, according to league sources, offering the number 13 pick to Chicago as the key chip. The Bulls, to the surprise of many within the league, instead opted to send Caruso to OKC for Josh Giddey." As a continuation, more so just on where the Kings are at with their pick, League sources say the Kings have shuffled several late lottery level prospects through their facility in recent weeks, including Zach Edey, the 7'4" National Player of the Year, who could theoretically offer a level of rim protection the Kings have been lacking. Now, hold on, not so fast, all you Edey people out there who just got excited. Amick then puts, and this is Amick and Slater, I should say, but it's difficult to slot any traditional center into a lineup next to Domantas Sabonis, which is exactly what we were just outlining, talking about Jonas Valanciunas. And in the bigger picture, there's more of an internal appetite to add veteran help to a win-now situation as opposed to a rookie. That's why the 13th pick remains very available in trade talks heading into the draft, according to league sources, along with the necessary cap filler and even extra picks for the right player. We can get more into it. There's another thing that goes into De'Aaron Fox's extension if we want to go into that. That more so, let me find that real quick here. Where did it go? I was just looking at it a second ago. Okay, now I can't find it, but Brendan just walked in and told us. I'm going to find it here in a second. But it is being reported that De'Aaron Fox will not sign his contract extension this offseason and will instead look to see where this roster further develops and to see if he could potentially get those all NBA, MVP, Defensive Player of the Year boosts that can then make his next extension a supermax extension. So De'Aaron Fox will not be signing a max contract this offseason, will instead be kicking it down the can to see where this thing goes. Here it is right here. Fox's future looms in the background too, as league sources say the all-star guard has decided not to sign an extension this year, in part because he wants to see how the roster takes shape for the long haul. Fox, who has 2 seasons left on his current deal, wants to win at the highest level and could also qualify for a significantly larger max if he makes All-NBA.
Wow.
So a lot there.
That is meaty.
There. Yes, very, very meaty.
That is the Hungry Man TV dinners.
Yes.
That's what that is. I mean, where to start, Chris?
A lot.
As far as the Caruso deal, now that's a guard situation that I don't think counts as far as no more guards.
He doesn't play like a guard.
A guy like that, he changes the complexity of the game.
Everything.
What he can do defensively. He shoots the 3 ball. You don't have a guy like that on your team. Now, I do think it would have been interesting because of how much of a jump Keon Ellis made, and would that have kind of stifled Keon? But I guess we'll never know because
I guess we'll never know.
And if you're Chicago, you care more about, and maybe I'm missing something on Josh Giddey, and I know it's supposed to be a down draft, and I am normally in the camp of get the guys that you know can at least be a player in this league, but Chicago not wanting to make that move with the Kings for 13 and instead taking on who they think could be an all-star in the East for Josh Giddey. Yeah, man. I mean, I think this whole thing shows how aggressive the Kings are being, and I think we all can appreciate that. And as far as what they do next, I don't know if the pick will lose value because it's so available, but I do think it's hard for teams to turn down that opportunity, especially based on knowing that, hey, there's always that diamond in the rough, and we can be that team to get the diamond. I do think they will convince a team to take it. I don't know how much more they'd have to give up with the pick to get some of the bigger name guys like a Levine or like a Ingram or like Kyle Kuzma. So I'm less surprised. The least surprising piece, if we went in order to me, is that they're shopping the pick.
Yeah.
I would say it's surprising to not that they were going after Caruso, because maybe this started before Malik re-signed, but even if it didn't, they're 2 completely different players. Not that surprising, more surprising that Chicago would rather go with Josh Giddey. And maybe, Josh Giddey, 6'5", point guard, can distribute the basketball, does a lot of things. So maybe that's not that surprising. And last but not least, I think we will get to De'Aaron Fox's side of this on the other side.
Real quick, I would say, just reading into this, it says offering 13 to Chicago as the key chip. if it's 13 and Davion Mitchell, would you rather have 13 and Davion Mitchell or Josh Giddey?
13 and Davion Mitchell, personally.
Yeah. I
now, does Davion Mitchell make sense with
Kobe White? I don't think so. I like Josh Giddey's fit. I think Giddey is like a perfect fit over there. I think that's the exact kind of situation where he could thrive. It makes sense to me. I think the thing that I'm reading from the Caruso thing is honestly that no Zach LaVine. Like if 13 was the trade chip, they were talking to Chicago, but they were not talking to Chicago about Zach LaVine.
Yeah.
They were trying to get it done on a whole separate thing, which to me, I could be reading too much into it, but if I'm the Kings and I'm having Caruso talks, if I'm interested in LaVine at all, I'm talking about adding Zach LaVine to that. I may be reading too much into it, but I could see that as the Kings maybe aren't that interested in Zach LaVine.
Well,
if they were trying to work on this as a whole separate deal.
Right. But again, we know that the Bulls possibly, they really valued Caruso, possibly overvaluing
for sure
Caruso. Coming up next, we continue the conversation from this bombshell article from The Athletic. Our guys, Sam Amick and Anthony Slater, little combination. And we will discuss De'Aaron Fox and his thoughts and the fact that he will not be signing an extension this offseason. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sactown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sactown Sports app.
NBA basketball returns to Golden One Center this July 6th, 7th, and 9th for the California Classic Summer League Games. 3-day passes in the lower level start at just $66 and include access to all 6 games. See your Sacramento Kings as they host the San Antonio Spurs and Charlotte Hornets, featuring newly drafted rookies, NBA sophomores, and other athletes competing to make NBA rosters. Visit kings.com/California Classic for more information and to buy your tickets today.
Stuck in a downtown meeting marathon? Need a post-work pick-me-up? Head over to Public House Downtown, the corner of 16th and L Streets. That's right, Public House Downtown, your one-stop shop for good times. With 60 beers on tap, come catch the game on 25 HD TVs. Public House Downtown serves up creative American food all day long. Lunch, happy hour, dinner, and even weekend brunch. Public House Downtown. Food, beer, sports. Want to see the menu or plan your visit? Check out their website at phdowntown.com. Find your crew and find your fun at Public House Downtown.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Kyle Draper from Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. The July 4th holiday is right around the corner, and now's the perfect time to come celebrate with incredible lease offers from Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. Drive home your dream car right now for just $444 per month with just $4,000 down. Or you can enjoy 1.99% APR on select certified pre-owned models. Get your dream car today and enjoy it over the holiday weekend. Just head on down to Mercedes-Benz of Stockton or online at mbofstockton.com.
At the Good Feet store, we take pain very seriously. Whether in the foot, knee, hip, or back, Good Feet makes over 300 styles, flexibilities, and sizes of pain-relieving arch supports. With 26 bones, 30 joints, and over 100 muscles, tendons, and ligaments in each foot, a lot can go painfully wrong. So there's a trained arch support specialist at each Good Feet store to give you a precision fit. Come in for a free fitting and test walk. No appointment necessary. Good Feet arch supports are HSA, FSA eligible.
The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Vacaville. Online at goodfeet.com.
18 number ones.
What was I thinking?
Countless ACM and CMA awards. Sold out world tours. And now Dierks Bentley is coming to Sacramento for Country in the Park 2. September 28th at Hart Health Park at Cal Expo with Parmalee. I love you just the way Kelsey Hart and more, plus line dancing, food trucks, and more. Tickets available now at CITVFest.com.
Brought to you by Bonnie Electrical Heating and Air and the U.S. Marines.
Award-winning country sensation Lee Brice is back.
One of them girls that ain't trying to meet nobody. You're just here.
Live in concert. Friday, June 28th, 7:30 p.m. The venue at Thunder Valley. Lee Brice. Special guest Abby Anderson. The venue at Thunder Valley. For tickets, visit ThunderValleyResort.com. Don't miss Lee Brice live.
If your passion is bass fishing, only one radio show has the action, information, and excitement of your favorite outdoor sport. Ultimate Bass, hosted by Tournament Bass Pro and California Outdoor Hall of Famer Kent Brown, takes you live to where the fish are biting every Saturday morning. Only Ultimate Bass feeds your passion with the latest news, products, tips, and advice from the pros. Ultimate Bass with Kent Brown, Saturday mornings at 5 a.m. on Sactown Sports 1140, part of SEP's Saturday Morning Outdoors.
There is a different vibe at night at the Hagen Oaks Range, powered by Top Tracer. It's more relaxed, with golfers and newbies side by side enjoying the technology used on televised golf tournaments. Play a variety of fun games. Play Pebble Beach. Compete against friends at the Hagen Oaks Driving Range. Or treat yourself to 9 holes on the Mackenzie putting course. Hungry? The Hangout Food Truck offers burgers, chicken strips, and more. And don't forget to check the summer-long free concert schedule at the Hagen Oaks Driving Range, Fulton Avenue and Cap City Freeway.
They're connected now.
Yeah.
They
they got bought out like a year ago, I think.
Huh.
Yeah. The Athletic.
It still says Twitter, not X. So these
exactly.
things
Still Twitter.com.
take a while.
No, it is X.com.
There you go. Well, if you go to the Athletic or New York Times, you can find an outstanding article by Sam Amick and Anthony Slater, two friends of the show. In the previous segment, we went over the Alex Caruso deal that got really close but did not get done. That was for the 13th pick and other assets. So whether that was Davion Mitchell, I don't think that would have been a Kevin Huerter or Harrison Barnes conversation, but number 13 and probably maybe a Sasha situation, something like that. But the Bulls opted to go with the deal with OKC, sending Caruso to Oklahoma City, and they now have Josh Giddey. Now, the other part of this article, as we discussed, the Kings trying to move pick number 13, I guess Tejan Salah is not what they're looking for, as they look for somebody more established in the league. The other part of this was De'Aaron Fox deciding that he will not be signing the extension, which would put him at $55 million a year. Earlier in the show, we discussed what would happen if he didn't take it, and that was from Al and Cal. If he did not take the extension, he would be eligible next summer for, how about 5 years, $349 million contract extension, which would be the biggest contract in NBA history. So that's what De'Aaron has his eyes on the prize on if he makes an all-NBA team or wins most valuable player or defensive player of the year. But it wasn't just that. De'Aaron, there was another note in there about De'Aaron and the fact that he wants to see how the rest of the roster shakes out, Chris. Big deal or no deal for that to be included in the article?
I think it's close to little deal or no deal. And I only say that because I don't want to say it's calling his bluff or anything like that, but because definitely, like, if this thing goes off the rails, like, De'Aaron's not just going to re-sign because he's had a good time here. So it's definitely a shred of truth to it for sure. But we also heard Malik Monk, tell Anthony Slater, and I think it was Sam Amick, a similar thing of, well, a big part of me re-signing is going to be how the season ends and how the Kings end up, how I feel about the vibe of the team at the end of the season. And we know that the season ended about as poorly as it could have in terms of, hey, we're trying to entice you to stay here longer, losing to a team for the, 6th, 7th time in that season. And, pretty much having a flat note at the end of the year. I think they went like 3-5 in their last stretch of games. It's about as flat as you could have finished. And Malik still signed before free agency even began. So Some of these things are leverage. De'Aaron's got to play a little, hey, I know he signed with Clutch, but he's got to do a little LeBron thing here to where he's kind of holding the Kings hostage, I guess, in a way. It's not that serious, but it's his way of saying, like, I'm not going to be okay with just running it back. I'm not going to be okay with being okay. I need to feel like we're moving in a positive direction. I'm not going to do you a solid and have continuity for the sake of continuity. I will leave. I will do what every other superstar has done in their situation, and I will go seek out what I think is best for myself. But I want to stay here. You just have to make it so I want to stay here too.
916-339-1140. You have De'Aaron turning down a contract extension that would pay him $55 million a year. Now, whether or not you think De'Aaron is worth that, we want to hear from you. Now, the only way he would get to this number, the super duper max, I'm calling it, that would be $69 million a year if De'Aaron makes all NBA next season, if he's MVP or Defensive Player of the Year. Now, obviously, you would assume, Chris, if you got all NBA, a lot of us would assume, he deserves that extension because he got all NBA. But I do think there's some people out there that would feel like he got all NBA, but that's a lot of money.
Oh, yeah.
That's a lot of money.
He said the same thing when he signed his last contract.
Even if De'Aaron Fox is MVP is one thing. But let's say he's all NBA or Defensive Player of the Year. 916-339-1140. Would De'Aaron Fox be worth that money? And I know it's a loaded question because it would mean, hey, what did the team do? Here's what's interesting to me, Chris, as it's a very fine line, as we have this discussion a lot with Luka ball and Brunson ball, where it becomes your usage versus what the team can do to help you. What's funny to me is that you have to have certain numbers, right, to be in the MVP conversation, to be in the All-NBA conversation. De'Aaron is saying he wants to see the rest of the roster construction. So let's say they get Kyle Kuzma and you get somebody that can, you know where I'm going with this. You get somebody that can put the biscuit in the basket like Kyle Kuzma or even Brandon Ingram. De'Aaron, your chances.
He goes from 27 points to 24.
Exactly. So your chances of becoming MVP, and I know it would make the team better, so maybe that would help, but your chances of becoming MVP, or not Defensive Player of the Year, but All NBA, something like that, could be altered if Monty McNair really does ball out this offseason. So I think the other thing that we want to bring up here is that De'Aaron can essentially sign a different version of an extension. And I don't know, Chris, would that still be $55 million next season, or would that one even be a little bit more too?
It goes up.
It's not as if De'Aaron is all out of luck if he doesn't ball out this next season and doesn't ball out to the level of MVP, All-NBA, or Defensive Player of the Year. It's a very safe bet for De'Aaron. But to your point, it's less about De'Aaron and more about the Kings getting to a point where, hey, man, you can't – that's essentially the Kevin Durant thing. You can't just keep signing these little deals over and over again and pulling us on a string, which we don't think De'Aaron would, but it would be interesting to see if you bring in a bucket getter, any of these bucket getters, Zach LaVine, you know he's going to hoist them. How does that affect De'Aaron's numbers?
And I mean, the thing that I'm looking at right now, and I just want to confirm it, but it's definitely true. De'Aaron playing chess, not checkers here. Let's not forget that the NBA is about to get a new media rights deal as well. And that media rights deal is going to be for $7 billion annually. And we already saw how the cap rose in 2016. I know the new CBA has some restrictions in it to where the cap can only elevate a certain percentage year over year so that you don't have this massive spike that allows the Warriors to sign KD. But the salary cap is going up in 25, 26 and beyond. So if De'Aaron definitely knows the longer I kick the can down the road, the more money I'll get, but it'll be for the teams, it's going to have a lot of sticker shock. But the actual value of it is only going to go down over time because the salary is going to keep going up. So if De'Aaron signs a current deal now, it might look big in terms of where the salary cap is at here today. But in 4 or 5 years, if De'Aaron, you said he turned down $55 million is what it would be. Jaylen Brown's making like 64 right now. So there's going to be a point within De'Aaron's contract to where guys are signing $70, $75 million per year contract. And that 55 or maybe that 60 or whatever is going to look pretty low at some point.
But what leverage do the Kings have if like we were talking, I think we were talking about before the show, if De'Aaron, let's say next season, he says the same thing, right? Or I guess at that point, next season would be his last season on the deal. What if De'Aaron says, well, I'm gonna do it again. Here go 2 more for y'all. Yeah. Would the Kings at that point say, well, now you're on an expiring deal? If that's what you want to do,
that gets into scary land.
Because here's my question. There's value. De'Aaron is very, the whole thing is very fascinating to me because you have De'Aaron's value as a Sacramento King, right? Mm-hmm. And let's say based on what you just said, if it was $55 million this season, let's just say next season, if he doesn't make All NBA, the extension would be, let's call it $60 million.
Why not?
And deep down, De'Aaron feels like he's more than that.
Yeah.
De'Aaron says, I'm not doing it. I'm trying one more again, right? And now at this point, he'd be a free agent at the end of the season.
I don't see other teams can't offer him the supermax. The Kings are the only team that could offer him the supermax.
Okay, and so that it would be, let's say he turns down that 60 mil, which would not be the supermax. Yep. Are other teams out there? And I know the money would be different at this point in time because of the TV deal. I have no clue if another team would pay De'Aaron $60 million.
Yeah, I don't think. I don't know how many teams even have that. Have that much cap space available to do something like that. It would be really tough, and you'd probably have to work out a sign and trade or something.
Right. So I do think the Kings have a little bit of leverage in that
sure.
De'Aaron, you meet similar to Malik Monk.
No,
De'Aaron,
totally.
You know that you. We think you know that you mean more to us than you probably do on the open market as far as what we're willing to pay you.
And this is how Bradley Beal ends up in the situation he is. Like no NBA players understand that as well. And De'Aaron might say, I want to get that supermax, but if he gets to the point to where it's either accept the non-supermax, the $60 million, or hit free agency to where, like you said, it's just open to however much money you have, players are smart enough to know, let me lock up the money, make sure I get that 60 mil. We can figure out the trade or wherever I actually want to play later. And so at some point, De'Aaron will say, all right, I didn't do what I wanted to do. Let me just sign on the dotted line. And then if I'm not happy, if whatever the Kings go in the wrong direction, we can figure that out later.
And here it comes. We see the text. We see the Sac chat. We knew even bringing this up, those words would come out from someone. Trade him.
Oh, I thought it was,
trade him.
I thought we were going to talk Tyrese again.
No,
I was going to say the T word, and then you would have been like, "Yep."
Well,
the T word.
2 T words.
Yeah.
This one is trade him. Trade him. This one 916. Trade Fox for a boatload. Monk is more than capable of being the starting one. We're not doing this yet. The article,
it's not even
hasn't even dried yet. 916-339-1140.
42 minutes old.
If you want to be a part of the conversation, we keep it going. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Our first year as the radio home of the San Francisco 49ers is one we will never forget.
And Logan Ryan picks him up. Looks like they're playing man. Laporte is over there as well. It's 5 out. It's empty on 4th down. Goff back. Not going to get out to his right. Been chased. Throws, and it is incomplete. The 49ers take over on 4th down again.
Congratulations to the 49ers on a terrific year. And thank you for so many wonderful memories.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com. Bonneville International Radio Station contests are open to participants at least 18 years of age and older that are residents of California and who reside in one of the 6 counties that make up the Sacramento metro area, unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contest are not eligible to win, unless the station otherwise specifies in its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 30 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. For a copy of the general contest rules, visit khtk.com.
It's the ride everybody wants to be driving, and Elk Grove Kia has them in stock right now. I'm talking about the 2024 Kia Telluride. And my friends at Elk Grove Kia can get you behind the wheel of a 2024 Telluride SX for only $419 a month, plus taxes and fees. Whenever I see one of these driving down the road or next to me at a red light, I just stop and admire it because the Kia Telluride just looks iconic. And not only is the Kia Telluride beautiful, it's got room for the whole family. There's a seating capacity for up to 7 passengers. Plus, it's loaded with tech. So is the 2024 Kia Telluride the right ride for you and your family? Come on down to Elk Grove Kia in the Elk Grove Auto Mall. Give it a test drive. And just a heads up, when you're here at Elk Grove Kia, you're going to be treated very well. You're not going to get this kind of car buying experience in Roseville, Vacaville, Sacramento, or Davis. That's why Elk Grove Kia has so many 5-star reviews. Again, check them out in the Elk Grove Auto Mall or online, elkgrovekia.com. 24-month lease, $0 security deposit, 20 cents per mile over 10,000 miles per year, $4,999 due at signing based on approval of credit. VIN number 501850, ends June 30th, 2024.
Since 1776, July 4th has been celebrated as the birth of American independence, but it's been a federal holiday only since 1941. Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. It was a mere 7 years later when the Keys family opened their first Naturewood store in Sacramento. And I guess Northern Californians have been celebrating ever since. We celebrate an incredible selection of furniture brands made right here in America. We celebrate the kind of generous hometown hospitality that was important to Walter Keys in 1948 and continues with the Keys family and the Naturewood Home Furnishing staff today. And we celebrate the kind of quality that's been synonymous with Naturewood for all these 76 years. Look for made in America brands like Stanton, Sam Moore, Stickley, Hilltop Hickory, Simply Amish, and more during the Naturewood 4th of July sale event. Find the furniture that you will celebrate for years to come. Naturewood Home Furnishings, off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
Sponsored by Xfinity Internet. Enjoy ultimate control of your home network. Personalize your Wi-Fi name and password. Assign user profiles. View and control connected devices and more with the Xfinity Internet app.
Sactown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
$15 minutes. Your chance at family 4-pack of 3-day passes to the California Classic Summer League, July 6th, 7th, and July 9th, with an expanded lineup of teams preparing for NBA action. Chris and I are giving away tickets. That is at 1 p.m. in 15 minutes. If you are listening on the app, you might want to find a way to get to your nearest radio or YouTube so you are not delayed. If you really want these tickets, Chris will be in the building. Brendan Nunez will be in the building. I will be in the building. Nate will be in the building. Frankie Cardicelli, if he's ever off vacation, he will be in the building as well. But who will we be watching, Chris? Seems like the Kings are saying, who wants to pick? You want to pick? Who wants to pick? Who wants to pick? You think they make the pick? Now, we were supposed to do this game on Wednesday.
Yeah.
This article comes out.
Might be cooked.
On The Athletic. Sam Amick and Anthony Slater saying that the Kings they're really trying to move this pick, but what will they get back for the pick? Most recently, they tried to get Alex Caruso, if that kind of measures the value. Alex Caruso and another piece, a pick and another piece for Alex Caruso. So that tells you, as much as I like Alex Caruso, that 13th pick, I wouldn't call it crazy valuable, Chris.
Yeah, no, I mean, I definitely don't think it's got much value in terms of getting, what the Kings would want. Even then, even in that article, it said 13 as the key piece, not saying it was the only thing being shopped around. And so to me, that kind of tells me that it can be the star of a trade, but it definitely is not going to just get a 1-for-1 deal done. The Kings are going to have to attach something with it, whether it's Duarte, Vezenkov, Davion Mitchell, or maybe we do see a really big move and they do package the old reliable Kevin Huerter and HB plus a pick for something big. Who knows? We haven't gotten a real sense of which exact direction they want to go in that sense in terms of big fish hunting or just getting a veteran guy who can just be a part of the rotation. But we'll see. We'll see. Moving on to the the ESPN.com mock draft for today. This updated this morning with all of the news over the weekend, still having Zachary Risachet going number 1 to Atlanta, number 2 Alex Sarr to Washington, number 3 Houston taking Reed Shepherd, number 4 the first person that we will see in Sacramento for the California Classic, the San Antonio Spurs taking Stephon Castle, at number 5 Detroit Pistons taking Matas Buzelis. Number 6, the Hornets, who I believe are still in the California Classic. I know they were last year, taking Dalton Connect. That's been a name that really hasn't ever caught steam.
No, it stayed steady.
Yes, yeah,
but it never dropped
yeah.
or didn't blow up. Did you see Buzelis? He did an interview and he said he'd be the number 1 pick if he shot better.
Oh, I think I did. Season. Yes, yeah. Which you didn't. So yeah. If I were 7 feet tall, I'd be in the league.
I mean, what are we doing here?
Yeah, absolutely.
They're young.
Yeah, they're learning. Number 7, Portland going Donovan Clingan. I just would be surprised if Clingan's even available at 7 these days.
I saw one thing say they're trying to pair Clingan with Wembanyama.
I saw that too. I have no idea what's going to happen.
And you know
I
what?
really have no clue.
We keep on having conversations about Zach Edey and not understanding the steam and why Kings fans are into it. I still do not understand the Donovan Clingan hype.
I don't get it.
I don't get it. Maybe I'll be on Freezing Cold Takes in about 3 years, but I don't understand.
I don't see it. I don't see like anywhere near, like, to me, yeah, you're hoping that he's just like a role player. People have said he could be a starting big in today's. I don't know what he is. Is he like a Nurkic? Is he a Jonas Valanciunas? I don't see what his pro comp is. It'll be interesting. Maybe he's Walker Kessler, which is fine, but I'm not taking Walker Kessler with the first pick in the draft. San Antonio's second pick, and again, somebody you could see here in Sacramento for the California Classic, Rob Dillingham going to the San Antonio Spurs with the second pick. Like you said, though, there's a lot of talk that San Antonio could potentially package 4 and 8 and try and move up into the top 3, presumably number 1, and try and take their pick of the litter. If they could, mix Sarr and Wemby together, if they could get Clingan, get Wemby some beef next to him, I think that can make a little bit of sense. Number 9, they have Cody Williams going to Memphis. Number 10, Nikola Topic going to Utah. Number 11, Devin Carter going to the Bulls. It seems like Carter is pretty solidified being taken.
Now the Bulls want all the guards.
They do. I mean, yeah, right. Now
give us all the guards.
Give him Caruso, or give him Giddey, give him Kobe White, give him Devin Carter. Why not? Number 12, unfortunately, Allen will not be partying at public houses to Jean Salon in this.
But why does he keep going 12?
It's right before.
Why does that keep happening?
They know you want it. They know you want it. Every single time he's going to go right before them because you want him so badly. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see if that's how that ends up shaking out. And that leaves the Kings with their new favorite pick. At one point, I think it was Jacoby Walter was the guy that we kept seeing. There was like a 2-week period where Devin Carter continued to be mocked to the Kings. Now it seems like Ron Holland is the overwhelming mock draft favorite to go number 13 to the Kings. This is Jonathan Gavoni with the write-up. This pick has been mentioned for some time as being potentially attainable, which we've just learned about 50 minutes ago that it is very much being shopped, which makes sense considering the urgency that's likely in place for a Kings team eager to return to the playoffs. Retaining Malik Monk was a major step in that direction, alleviating the need for them to target a shooter such as Jared McCain with this pick, should they keep it, and maybe allowing them to take a flyer on a high upside prospect such as Holland, who is projected to be picked much higher than this before an inefficient season with the G League Ignite damaging his standing. Older players such as Jacoby Walter, Devin Carter, and Johnny Furphy, shout out Johnny Furphy, who we only saw once and never saw again. Now he's in the 20s, are also said to be getting some consideration with this pick. That is, again, from Jonathan Gavoni of ESPN. We've talked about Ron Holland a bit last week as he started to creep up into the Kings mock drafts. Just a little bit of a scouting report on him. His strengths, his lead Ignite team in scoring, rebounding, and assists. So somebody who can be versions of a Swiss Army knife. Strong finisher, particularly effective in transition. Capable spot-up shooter with potential off the dribble. Above average athleticism and nonstop motor. Excellent perimeter defender with quick reads and disruptive ability. Projects as a high-level defender capable of guarding positions 1 through 4. Constantly plays hard, hustles, and love defense. and he's a functional NBA swingman with potential to play small ball 4 due to rebounding ability. Some of his weaknesses are below average true shooting percentage and turnover prone due to a decision-making and court vision issues. Sometimes overly aggressive defensively, leading to defensive lapses. He needs to get stronger and refine his ball handling. He requires consistency in all aspects of his game, including shooting mechanics. And a recent thumb injury may impact draft process, but scouts believe it will have a little impact on draft placement.
Well, I'm not surprised. I mean, he dunks like Westbrook. I'm not surprised his thumb.
His thumb's busted.
He is really aggressive with these dunks. I mean, what does he go, Chris? 6'7", 6'8"?
He's listed at 6'6.5" without shoes, but 6'8" is his listed height with a 6'11" wingspan.
Yeah, I remember last week when we spoke about him and fired up these highlights. It was just a lot of dunking. I know they say it's almost as if they're trying to convince us that he's a shooter. They call him a capable. If you are capable, you want your dentist to be capable?
No.
I mean, you want your dentist to be
proficient.
Yes. I'm capable of
I could
doing your root canal. I could.
If you need me to.
Yeah.
It's like, it's like if you need your haircut in the garage real quick, like I could do it.
That is perfect.
I'm not saying it's going to you probably shouldn't go to a wedding with it, but if you just need to go a little Sunday barbecue or something, I could wear a hat, but for sure.
Exactly. No, I mean, that is spot on. I don't feel like cashing out.
No.
I'm about a week away from a haircut. I'm capable. So, and then they go on to say his true shooting percentage. So it seems like they're trying to tell us, hey, he's hit some wide open shots.
Yes.
He can hit a wide open shot again in the G League. Right. And now we're headed to big boy land. I'm not necessarily against it, but yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where all the guys that we named, and somebody said if Dalton Connect slips on the Sac Chat, then why not? Dalton was my first love before Tejan Salon.
Yes.
I just assumed Dalton would be gone. But back to Ron Holland, I'm not against it, Chris. We've all talked about if you're gonna miss on a wing, and I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I've got no problem. I think if a guy like Ron Holland is gonna work out, a situation like Sacramento makes a ton of sense to me because, like you said, I mean, I think clearly, especially looking at his strengths, defense isn't really a concern for him. So if he can just focus on what he can do right now in the league and then slowly build upon those things, I think that's how it's going to work out best for him. I think if you throw him into let's say he goes to Chicago at number 11, that feels a little scary to me because, we just saw Patrick Williams end up in a similar situation, almost the exact same kind of mold as well. It just feels like if you want him to do something on the offensive end, or if you want that to be just as big a part of what entices you with him, it just feels like you're going to be disappointed. I think Sacramento's great because they can just say, just go be a dog. Go watch Juan Toscano Anderson highlights from last year.
That's right.
It's only a short stint. Go watch what he did for us. That's what we want from you first year. If you hit threes, that's a bonus for sure. We can live with it. We've lived with Davion Mitchell kind of struggling to get his shot until last year. He eventually started to knock him down. I think you can survive with his shooting woes if he brings what he's supposed to bring defensively. And of course, this is if the Kings are even going to keep this 13th pick.
You're supposed to have shooting around him.
Yep.
So you should have enough shooting because that's supposed to be your MO. Coming up next, we profile the Kings' new assistant coach. Also, Sasha Vezenkov opens up about one of the biggest issues for him during his rookie season in the National Basketball Association. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Subscribe to Sactown Sports on YouTube and watch the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Live Monday through Friday from 6 to 6. Plus view archive shows and exclusive content.
Subscribe at youtube.com/Sactown Sports.
I didn't ask to be thrown in the streets with nowhere to go. I didn't think I'd survive. But I did ask for help, and Covenant House was there for me.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year. For these kids who didn't ask to be put in this unthinkable situation, Covenant House is there.
Covenant House helped me break the cycle of homelessness in my family. They gave me the love that I needed.
Over 2,000 young people will sleep safely in a Covenant House bed tonight. When youth who are experiencing homelessness have a hot meal, a safe place to sleep, medical care, and love, they can overcome heartbreaking challenges and have a brighter future.
They just really genuinely just wanted to help me succeed, and I'm succeeding. I'm a speaker. I'm an author. Covenant House really helped me and really helped mold me into the woman I am today.
If you or someone you love is asking for help, go to safeplacetosleep.org today.
Toyota's 4th of July sales event is on. Get in today for deals on the hottest lineup around. This summer, choose from Toyota's 16 hybrid and electrified models, more than any other brand. And go the distance with Toyota's class-leading fuel efficiency and reliability. Get your ride on with Toyota's 4th of July sales event today. Toyota, let's go places.
The PGA club fitters at the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio know that golf should be fun. They also know that players of all abilities will hit the ball farther and straighter, play better golf, shoot lower scores, and have more fun if they get fitted before they purchase golf clubs. Hagen Oaks delivers the same technology and major brands used to fit PGA and LPGA professionals. See how the game can be even more fun. Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio fittings are available 7 days a week. Make yours today by calling 916-808-2531. That's 808-2531.
My good friends, Dr. Jack Friedlander and Dr. Pash in Roseville and in San Francisco are offering not only confidence, not only security, but also the ability, if you ain't insecure, to go from the roster to the all-star team. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about UpsizeMatters.com. Time after time, vote after vote, circumference, or as we call it, girth, is consistently ranked as the most important attribute. And Dr. Jack and Dr. Pash can give you a free consultation. The procedure can be done on the same day as your consultation with immediate results. It's non-surgical. It's virtually pain-free, safe, effective, long-lasting, semi-permanent, and doctor-performed. For more information, go to UpsizeMatters.com. Go to UpsizeMatters.com. Make that change. Make the all-star team. Get your girth on.
Slash presents Serpent Festival, a celebration of the blues. Friday, July 12th at the venue at Thunder Valley, starring Slash, Warren Haynes Band, Samantha Fish, and Eric Gales. It's gonna be a steep climb. Don't miss an all-star night of blues Friday, July 12th at the venue at Thunder Valley. For tickets, visit ThunderValleyResort.com. Serpent Festival.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Lowe's knows owning a project means owning the right tools. And during Craftsman Days, you can save big on what you need from a brand you trust. Get a free Select V20 tool when you buy a Select Battery 2-pack. Plus, get your choice of the V20 string trimmer or leaf blower for only $99. Find these savings and more today. Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid through 7/10. While supplies last. Selection varies by location.
KHTKAM HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is
That was right after me. I was into Pokemon, but it was right after me. But he cooked too, and the Olympics are going to be outstanding. So we have a couple false starters here, but don't worry, we're about to get to you. But first, 916-339-1140. Let's get to Sam, who wants to be a part of the conversation. What's up, Sam? What you got for us?
Hi. Hey, pretty good. Well, I'm going to do Monty McNair. We're at the end of the road. We got to make a decision.
Mhm.
So I'm going to say we're going after Kuzma. We'll throw in our 13th pick and Barnes and maybe Herter, but we're not going to give up a frontline player. We're not going to give up Keegan. We're not going to give up anybody like that. So if we can't get him, we're not going after Ingram. He only plays about 50 games a year, and we need him to play more than that. I'm not a Levine fan, so I'm going to pass on Levine. So Kuzma is the only one I can see with his 22, 7, and 4 going next to Sabonis and getting the job done. Now, the 13th pick, I would be more apt to throw in a couple guys and see if we can move up to maybe 5th or 6th. I have not looked the draft over. I heard it's very weak. So at the end of the day, if nothing happens, I'll just draft somebody at the 13th pick, the best man, and go on down the road, and you'll see what the year brings.
Boom. Nicely done, Sam.
Thank you, fellas.
Thank you. Great stuff there, Sam. Outstanding. Do you think, Chris, is there any part of you that feels like, and this is what happens when we've been talking about something for so long. So Sam brought up the normal suspects, the Toyota Corolla, Harrison Barnes, Kevin Herter in the 13th pick. Is there any part of you, I find myself on some days thinking that's not enough for Kuzma, and then I find myself on other days thinking that's too much for Kuzma.
Yeah, I think it's probably too much for Kuzma if you're doing both of them and the 13th pick. I think Washington is a bit of, they don't really have much leverage. I mean, it's like, what are you going to do with Kyle Kuzma? It's kind of like what we talk about with Devontae Adams. It's like, you're just kind of letting this guy waste away, and like, yeah, he's on your team putting up numbers, but it's not going towards anything.
Yeah.
So wouldn't you rather kind of get the ball rolling on whatever the next venture is for you guys? And I think the thought is bringing in Harrison Barnes, who's on a cheaper deal and 2 years left. Kevin Herter is a young guy. I just kind of feel like Kuzma, to me, I mean, I just think that's giving up too much. I think that's giving up just a little bit too much, and it would be fine if they're giving something else with Kuzma. Like if we can get I don't know if money it works out, but like Landry Shamet or something on top of that, I think it makes it a little bit more even. But if we're just talking about Kyle Kuzma, the individual, I feel like 3 assets for him feels like just a little bit much.
Right. Yeah. And maybe it's not Herter and Barnes. Maybe it's Herter and somebody else, or Barnes and somebody else. But we will find out very, very soon. It could be before Wednesday. It could be right now.
It'll be in 10 minutes.
But hopefully it's not right now, because right now it is time for the ticket giveaway. The Sacramento Kings are hosting the 6th annual California Classic Summer League on July 6th, 7th, and 9th with an expanded lineup of teams preparing for NBA action. Chris and I are going to get you in the building. Call right now, 916-339-1140, and lock up this family 4-pack of 3-day passes. Looking for caller number
8.
Ooh.
Wow.
You thought
we took a turn.
Wow.
You thought.
Caller number 8, caller number Ocho. 916-339-1140, 916-339-1140. May the odds ever be in your favor as the calls come in right now. Those tickets, we're doing it all week, but Nate got you with the caller number 8. All right, Chris, and we will give our congrats to whoever is the lucky caller, but we wanted to profile the new assistant coach for the Sacramento Kings.
Yes, real quick too, on a completely side note, Adam Schefter's just tweeted out that Brandon Ayuk has met with the 49ers today. So disgruntled wide receiver Brandon Ayuk is meeting today with the 49ers, as ESPN's Ryan Clark first reported on NFL Live. So a little bit of movement there, I guess. At least he's reporting, or I guess not reporting, but at least he's in the building and physically present for negotiations.
Well, and real quick, just on Brandon Ayuk, Emil Fergoso, great piece out there on SactownSports.com about Brandon Ayuk and potential trade destination. So go check that out. What's up, Nate?
Real quick, we do have a winner today. So many call-ins, so quick. Appreciate it, everybody. All week we're giving them away. So call back.
That's right.
I just want to let everyone know. Call back. Today we got a winner. Every week or every day this week, 1 p.m. We're Cali Classic, which is the 6th, 7th, and 9th, I believe.
That's right.
Of July.
That's right. Nicely done. And congrats. What was the caller's name, Nate?
Terry.
Ooh. Congrats to Terry. And we are giving away the family 4-pack of 3-day passes all week long. And if you see me on Wednesday, look, I can't say that I can help the situation, but it won't hurt the situation.
Right. Yeah.
How about that? All right, Chris, let's get into this.
Yes.
Let's get into this new assistant coach.
Yes. So news broke over the weekend in a little bit of a strange fashion. Something about, I don't know, like international reporters and the Kings right now are going hand in hand. We first learned this because the Italian national coach for the team that is trying to get into the Olympics right now reported that one of his assistants has taken a job with the Sacramento Kings. And, like the same thing with Sasha, there's a bit of some, okay, that's being reported on that side of the pond. We kind of need to do our due diligence on this side of the pond and figure out if all of this is true. And it has been confirmed that the Kings will bring in new assistant coach Ricardo Foyes, I believe is how it's pronounced, Fois. I believe it is Foyes. I watched a couple videos of trying to get the pronunciation down. So excuse me if that ends up later being corrected. He is 37 years old, which is great to see a young mind, as the Kings did lose, of course, Jordi Fernandez, but also David Dolkey's this offseason. He went to go join Jordi Fernandez. I would assume that Foyes will probably take that Dolkey's role, who did work player development. I'm trying to think of the players that he had under him, but I can't remember at the time, but he had a couple personal players that were his assignment. 37 years old, out of Olbia, Italy. I'm not well traveled, so I can't.
Where's Frankie?
Exactly. That's probably where he's at right now. Olbia, Italy. This is the second NBA experience for Foyes. From 2019 to 2022 or 21, he was a player development coach on Monty Williams' staff with the Phoenix Suns. Of course, was a part of the team that reached the NBA Finals in Phoenix. Foyes began his career as a player and then as an assistant coach at Pepperdine. Shout out. I'm sure him and Doug can speak wonders of Pepperdine and all that. He spent 5 years as an assistant coach at Gonzaga, and he has been Tommy Lloyd's assistant at the University of Arizona since 2021, with whom he reached the Sweet 16 twice in the NCAA tournament. Foyes has also been working in Italy as an assistant coach for the Italian national team, which is scheduled to compete in an Olympic qualifying tournament in Puerto Rico. When asked about the situation, Tommy Lloyd, again, University of Arizona head basketball coach, said, "Ricardo did an incredible job for our program the last 3 years. He's a dear friend of mine, and his family is close. He had an opportunity to go back to the NBA, and we just felt it's an opportunity that he couldn't pass up. We're excited for him." Again, the news first rippled out of Italy, where Italian basketball official Gianmarco Pozzecco, I will say, Pozzecchio, there's no I, said during a press conference that Foyes would join the Kings, while Lloyd confirmed it to the Arizona Daily Star later on Saturday. So it has all been checked. It has been cross-referenced, and it seems as if Ricardo Foyes will soon make his way over to Sacramento as a coach with emphasis in player development. It seems as if from some of the reading up that I did on him, he kind of has really leaned into the player development side of things. Of course, being 37 years old, you would assume he has some relatively recent knowledge on how the game has been played, how it's being coached, the direction in which the game is going.
How do you do, fellow young people?
Yes, exactly. The dude with the backpack and everything. It seems as if, he, from everything I read, this is a guy that we're going to notice on the bench. It's everything I saw says that he's very, very high energy, very spirited, very, very expressive and is very animated on the bench. So somebody who would probably be right next to Doug, right next to he might be in the second row of the bench, but will be somebody that you see standing and yelling very, very frequently. So I think it's always cool to kind of get these new guys in the building. The Kings have had the same coaching staff really since Mike Brown came here. So 2 seasons of pretty consistent continuity. And I think bringing a new voice, a fresh voice, especially one that isn't going to be afraid to speak up or show some emotion, I like it from the Kings. I mean, this guy isn't going to be the difference in them winning a championship or not, but I do think, if you can get these coaches, these assistant coaches that have really good relationships with the individual players, I think that's obviously a really good way of getting your message across to specific guys.
Coming up next, we continue the conversation, and Sasha Vezenkov talks about one of the biggest issues for him during his rookie season with the Kings. Also, some Paul George talk, and Boardman in the Bay signs. And is he staying with the Bay? We'll find out. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
The only place you'll find Malik Monk is Sactown Sports.
Oh my, what an athletic move that time by Malik Monk.
Hey Sacramento, it's Malik Monk and you're listening to the home of the Sacramento Kings, Sactown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
It's the Make This the Summer event, and it's going on now at Lodi Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Hi, everyone. Leonard Harrington here, and I want to tell you how we make your buying experience at Lodi CDJR as easy as possible. You can come in for a visit, or you can do everything online at LodiCDJR.com. Just pick out the make and model you want and scroll through our large in-stock inventory. Next, schedule a test drive at the click of a button. If you want to finance your vehicle, you can start your paperwork online too, saving you plenty of time before you get here. And if you're looking to sell your vehicle or looking to buy, we'll give you an instant cash offer online too. At Lodi Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, we make it easier than ever to put you into a new vehicle. It's what we do. Online at LodiCDJR.com or in person. We're right off 99 in Kettleman, where we're open till 9 every night and Sundays after church.
Prices are better at the Low Price Center. Lodi Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
Visit us at LodiCDJR.com.
Yeah!
Sactown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and subscribe.
Congrats to Terry, who won the Family 4-pack of 3-day passes. You will have 4 more opportunities to win passes to the California Classic Summer League. That is from Chris and I. We are giving away those tickets. So you have 4 more chances if you were not the lucky winner today. And I don't think any luck was involved, Chris, with Kevon Looney after what he's dealt with as far as injuries to transform his body and really continue his career. So it's an interesting situation as he's signing with the Warriors, but that doesn't really mean that he's going to stay with the Warriors. Monty Poole was on the story. According to Sam Gordon and Monty Poole, the Warriors have guaranteed Kevon Looney's salary of $8 million for the 2024-2025 season. Now, before any double agents out there that are Warrior fans get too excited for Kevon Looney, who's really been an Iron Man and a staple for that Warriors team, it seems like this could also be a move to use him as, it feels disrespectful to call him a sweetener, but that's probably what he is at this point in his career, an undersized center who really was supposed to be a completely different player prior to injury and reinvented his whole style of play and was really, an important piece of those teams for the Warriors, those championship teams. But now it seems like, they got Trace Jackson Davis. There's some high flyers out there, Chris, and not really sure. I think he's pretty darn close to a sweetener.
Yeah, I would think so. Like, it's just kind of, unfortunately, we do have to talk about these guys like they are just trade chips. And I do think it's just, you look at it, it's a $9 million contract. And, I think that last year, Looney pretty much got pulled from the rotation completely. And so I don't think there's much of a future there for him. And, we've seen firsthand that guy can definitely have impact in the right situation. But yeah, it really just adds to a very, very confusing potential offseason for Golden State. I would think that Looney's somebody I think pretty much like you said, you can throw him with Kuminga. You can throw him with maybe if you're going to throw a Trace Jackson Davis out there or a Brandon Pajemski, which they don't seem keen on doing, but it's a way that you can maybe trade one of your younger guys, a Moses Moody. That's probably the best example. You can trade Moses Moody and you can maybe still get up to 12 to $15 million in salary because he makes that much. And Looney still has some value. It's not like he's completely nothing, but ideally a team is probably going to be more excited about Moses Moody than they are the addition of Kevon Looney.
Speaking of value, we are still trying to figure out Sasha Vezenkov's value, and he opened up really about some of the things that he dealt with during his first season in the NBA, and he discusses the biggest issue, or one of the biggest issues that he had during his rookie season.
Yeah, this is again from International Reporting, which is just doing overtime on Kings coverage these days. This is what Sasha said at the 2024 EuroLeague Head Coaches Board Congress in Athens, Greece this past weekend. He said, quote, "In the NBA with all the trips, my first season was crazy. You just go from one hotel to the other, and from there to the arena, and then the facilities. Then you play with a different team, and you have to read the scouting report. Then you have to play, and then you have to travel again. It's very hard to remember everything." And just for context, Sasha played for Olympiacos from 18 to 23 and won the 23 EuroLeague MVP. He took his talents to the NBA, obviously, last season. At Olympiacos, Sasha was averaging 28.7 minutes per game, attempted 12.1 shots per game. His rookie season in the NBA, Sasha only appeared in 42 games, never starting a single one, and saw just 12.2 minutes per game, which is less than half of the minutes he saw in Europe, and then only took 4.5 shots per game. And he averaged 5.5 points a game, 2.3 rebounds, a half assist, half a steal, 0.2 blocks, while shooting 44% from the floor, 37% from beyond the arc. So my question is, how much of this are you saying maybe, we don't really account for the fact that besides on top of the skill gap and trying to, get accustomed to playing on this side of the pond and all that stuff. Yeah, it's like the day-to-day stuff that you don't think about, the travel, I have to learn the front to back of this scouting report, and then sometimes quite literally the very next day, throw that out the window, and here's a brand new scouting report that we need you to know in and out, on the off chance that you're actually going to check in. And then there's the travel, there's the getting used to it from a body, from a recovery standpoint. What do you think about Sasha saying that essentially, and I don't want to make it sound like he's trying to scapegoat anything, but essentially saying, hey, yes, there's the on the floor stuff, but a lot of the off the floor stuff too. And then, you can also make note of his difference in usage as well.
Yeah. And I'm trying to confirm how many just from Olympiacos, how many games they play.
It's around the 40s mark.
Yeah,
it's around
so
the 40
that's
to
half.
50.
That's half.
Yeah.
That's you played half of that season prior to that, and now you're in a completely different situation. And what's crazy is that Sasha was injured, so a lot of those trips he didn't even go on.
Yeah.
So it's not that I don't believe him or think that there is a big change there.
Yeah.
I'm just not really sure what to do with it. I guess you just feel more used to it moving forward, or, hey, is it something, you're doing all this and then you're not getting playing time. I get that it's tough. I guess I'm not really sure what I'm supposed to do.
No, totally. Yeah. I would that's kind of probably the route I would go to, where it's like, I'm not saying he's not valid, but this is also just any rookie could say the same exact thing.
Right.
I think it's more just a rookie problem. And maybe it's pointing, maybe you could say, okay, well, the thought was he's been a pro. He's been in Europe for all these years. The hope would have been that you could bypass all of these struggles because you have some form of experience with all of this. But this is clearly saying that for whatever reason, whether it is Sasha the individual or maybe it is just we're kind of underrating how different NBA lifestyle is than any other basketball style, that, it still affected him quite a bit. And I think, like you perfectly said, like him not getting minutes too, when you throw that on top of everything, so you're traveling, you feel like you're behind, Draper comes in here all the time and says, I honestly don't know what day it is, what city I'm in,
right,
because of how much travel it is. I could see how maybe he's got some stuff to him that's right, but I would also push back and say, hey man, Keegan Murray dealt with the same thing. You want to talk about your season being half. The college season is 35 games plus whatever you do in the postseason. So it's not really much different than what every other rookie has to adjust to. And again, I would probably push back and say we were kind of hoping that you having a level of professionalism previously to this would have helped you power through some of this.
And I don't necessarily know the context of why this came out. So I'm not trying to bag on Sasha, because we asked these athletes to be honest. And then when they are honest, then we slammed them for it or say, well, how could you say something like that? So I'm really trying not to do that. That's why my biggest takeaway is, okay, do you feel like you'll be more prepared for it next season? Or
where do we go from this?
I'm okay. Yes, I'm okay with that being how you feel, but and again, we don't know are you complaining or just you were asked the question and you were just being honest? I feel like it was more of the latter. So yeah, I mean, to me, it's just, okay, do you think you'll be better prepared now that you've been through it? And maybe we undersold some of those growing pains, and now somebody saying on the Sac Chat Luka didn't seem to have a problem with it.
Sure didn't.
So
not at all. Yeah, it's one of those things where in hindsight being 2020, of course that's a big reason why he struggled. But I mean,
no, I'm not.
People
saying
had
that.
to deal with more, and it's definitely a situation to where, like you said, I mean, it's more about where are we taking this then? If this was a big problem for you, did you take steps along the way? By the end of the year, did you have a better grasp on it? And then moving forward, how are we going to make this a more comfortable situation for you? Because clearly, I think that understandably that's difficult for everybody, but it's not going away anytime soon. So you're going to have to, unfortunately, learn to live with it.
Coming up next, are you ready to pay $20,000 for a tailgating experience out there in Vegas? If you're a fan of the Raiders, maybe you are. Why am I getting cooked on the Sac Chat? And also, Paul George, any way to swing it? We got some delusional fans out there. Who are they? Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL? Well, Sactown Sports has you covered.
Touchdown! San Francisco! It's all on his shoulders. Cox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Folsom Lake Kia.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. We're looking at sunny skies for this Monday, and temperatures will be pretty warm. Not as hot, though, as we just went through this weekend. Highs today will top out in the upper 90s, with a southwest breeze increasing tonight, dropping us back to low 60s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
Shop Folsom Lake Kia for special offers right now. I'm Coach Doug Christie urging you to visit my friends at Folsom Lake Kia and save big on your next new or certified pre-owned vehicle right now. Visit FolsomLakeKia.com.
Carmichael Dave here for Capital Casino. Sacramento's summertime heat is back. And of course, Cap Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room, wants to invite everyone to soak up some air conditioning, still with the most variety of table games in the region. And as always, the best food, best service, and the best action, conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. Capital Casino, of course, reminding everyone to please make sure you gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
A-Team #1. What was I thinking? Countless ACM and CMA awards. Sold out world tours. And now, Dierks Bentley is coming to Sacramento for Country in the Park 2. September 28th at Hart Health Park at Cal Expo with Parmalee. I love you just the way Dasha, Kelsey Hart, and more. Plus line dancing, food trucks, and more. Tickets available now at CITVFest.com.
Brought to you by Bonnie Electrical Heating and Air and the U.S. Marines. Hey, basketball fans, the draft is coming up, and you don't want to miss it. Join Sactown Sports 1140 for a draft watch party at Public House downtown, corner of 16th and L Streets on June 26th from 5 to 7 p.m. Draft day decisions and delicious eats with Sactown Sports.
The news on vapes
talks a lot about the technology and teen use, but parents need to know more about the dangers of nicotine. So know this. 1. Nicotine is a poison that can rewire teens' brains. 2. It can increase mood swings. 3. It can limit attention and learning. So even when it comes in new tech, nicotine is brain poison. Go to undo.org for more.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
10. Nice work. Thanks. Taking Nugenix Total T makes a huge difference for me. Nugenix? That's the testosterone booster with TV ads with Frank Thomas, right? Yes. Are they still giving out complimentary bottles? Yes. Nugenix is a great way to feel stronger with more energy and endurance. And as Frank says, you'll like it too.
Text radio to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix. Text RADIO to 321-321. That's radio to 321-321.
Sactown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
From the 209, the only thing I'd say about Sasha compared to American rookies is a lot of college guys are somewhat aware who all these NBA guys are and follow their game.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, I would say more so less about the other players and more about maybe there's more of an understood expectation of what's coming.
I think they're trying to say, like, in terms of scouting report, you know, a little bit better in terms of like, hey, you know, Sasha's from Europe. He's probably never heard of Herb Jones, you know, and there
I see
being
what you're saying.
a normal rookie who came up in America and everything, you might just have a better idea as to who Herb Jones is.
Right. They're watching with a first take or whatever.
Or just the games in general.
Yes, exactly. That's a good call.
Sasha actually watched NBA.
Yeah, that's a good call. Yeah.
You don't really think about things like that.
No. And Chris, Paul George has basically been put on every team on both sides of the Mississippi. And now there are a lot of Warrior fans that think that Paul George could basically, the idea is Paul George, because of the money that he wants and teams not being able to outright pay him that money, he is going to opt in and then say, hey, Clippers, you're going to lose me for nothing if you don't trade me. So I'll opt in, and then you trade me to, I want to go to Golden State, which I think Golden State would only be able to do if Clay does leave.
I think so, because I think they would have to trade Chris Paul his $30 million contract.
Right, because teams just really want that contract.
Yeah, they're lining up for it.
So, there's that part of it. Obviously, he's been connected to the 76ers. And a couple other teams. I saw earlier today. Could he make his way to the Knicks?
I saw that one too. I was wondering. Yeah, I saw that one too.
And again, that's not Brunson Ball anymore. But is that too much help? The conversation that we have. So, how do you think this thing ends for Paul George? And maybe we might know more after the draft.
I think it probably ends in a James Harden light situation where pretty much what you just laid out happens. Hopefully not to Golden State. Definitely not to Golden State. That would. I just can't do it. It does unfortunately make a lot of sense. You know, you can get a Chris Paul reunion with the Clippers. Maybe that helps sell some Intuit Dome tickets. I don't know what the Clippers' goal is for next season. I don't know if they're hoping to, again, hope that Kawhi Leonard is healthy and all that stuff. I kind of think Philly does make the most sense, though we have seen, especially more so recently, Philly's kind of bowing out, it sounds like. It sounds like they're going to go pursue other options, and there's also reports that Paul George talked to James Harden, who, just came from Philly and didn't have a very good experience. So I think that plays a little bit of a factor into it. I just hope it's not Golden State. I'm starting to get a little afraid here that all things are starting to point in that direction. They have the assets to do it, even if it is Chris Paul or they can throw Wiggins in there. The one thing I would hope, if it is going to be to Golden State, please make them throw Kuminga in there. I keep seeing all these Warrior people say, I'm down for Paul George, but I don't want to get rid of Kuminga. Yeah. And I'm just, guys, you got to play ball here.
It's insane.
It takes two to tango, and you're not going to you can't just, if you're the Clippers, you can't just say, So again, you guys are giving us all the role players. And I know we could probably because you guys are getting Paul George here. You guys are winning this trade regardless. Can we maybe like just get a small, tiny victory here? Can we get a shred of hope? No? Okay, yeah, no, actually, go ahead, Warriors. Just take him. Cook us. You're in our division. Go ahead and just ruin
but what
us.
are they?
Yeah,
but
come on, get out of here.
But at that point, and again, you're moving into the new
Beautiful
arena,
building. Yep.
right? So you're just gonna have, okay, we're gonna give up Paul George because we don't want to lose him for nothing.
Yep.
So it's just Kawhi and the Supremes. I mean, who is Kawhi gonna play with?
It's going to be Harden. It's going to be, I don't know what they're doing with Westbrook. I haven't figured out if Westbrook, I guess we haven't heard a lot of rumors about Westbrook, so I assume he's happy in that situation.
Norman
at least
Powell,
for another year.
your boy.
Norman Powell, my guy. But again, I don't know what they're hoping. Like, what is your goal at that point? Like, you're going to bank again that Kawhi is going to play 65 plus games and then be healthy he just played all those games and then wasn't healthy in the postseason. And Paul George was able to keep you afloat a little bit, but even then it wasn't enough. So you're banking more on James Harden. You're banking more on Russell Westbrook. And they were already a 4 or 5 seed. To me, it seems like, especially if you let go of Paul George, it doesn't matter who you bring back. The Clippers are a prime candidate right now to take a step back. And I just don't think that's the direction that Steve Ballmer wants to go with that building opening up. I kind of feel like they would hold Paul George hostage. And if he opts in, I could see them saying, no, Paul, like if you're going to opt in, again, the building is brand new. We want seats. And you might not be happy, and you might walk for nothing, but I kind of have already too much invested into making this season work out for
And that's what's so funny because he's got the podcast. And does he use that to mention anything or how he's feeling?
Yeah, what's the CBA on that?
Recently, I saw a clip. He didn't like when Stephen A. said that joke about Kawhi.
Right.
So I don't know if the issue is with Tyronn Lue. I'm not really sure what the issue is with Paul George, or maybe the issue is with Kawhi. But hey, I can talk about my teammate, but you can't talk about my teammate on national TV. Because right now, Chris, this is what we're dealing with. This is the last game of their season, okay? Or one of the last games of their season. You have Paul out there. You had Paul George. That's right, because Kawhi got hurt again.
Yep, he got hurt
Paul
again.
George, Amir Coffey, Zubac, James Harden, Terrence Mann, Norm Powell, Russell Westbrook, and Mason Plumlee. So, okay, you're going to get back. You're going to now – who are you getting back from the Warriors? Chris Paul. Which do you really need Chris Paul with James Harden?
I wouldn't think so. And Russell Westbrook. I don't know where he would play. It doesn't make any sense, but that's the only name that Warrior fans can throw out there. So if we're taking Chris Paul out of it, it's got to be Wiggins. I guess you throw Looney in there again to try and get that number up, and it's still something. And I think they're losing Plumlee this year. GP2, right? That's another name that has opted in to try and help the Warriors here. I would think you maybe try and center it around Wiggins, and you got to throw. If you're not throwing Kuminga in there, you got to throw Moody in there. And it's crazy to me if they somehow can keep all three of their favorite young players in Trace Jackson Davis, Podziemski, and Kuminga, and still get Paul George. That's a massive win. If I'm the Clippers, I'm asking for one of those three.
Yeah.
And if it's not Kuminga, I'm asking for the other two.
Yeah, I think that's what you have to do. All right, we had some more Brandon Ayuk news coming from by way of Ryan Clark that Nate alerted us to. Nate, what's going on here?
So here's what I'm seeing being reported. Wide receiver Brandon Ayuk told Ryan Clark that he's been taking these negotiations personal, and the offers have far affected him. Ayuk's first choice is to stay in San Francisco, but he's comfortable playing elsewhere if they are willing to trade him. Ayuk is meeting with the 49ers today as he requested. So Ayuk wanted this meeting today, which is very interesting.
Wow. His camp, man.
Ayuk Daily. Is that Ryan Clark?
Well, here's my question. Did he just tell Ryan Clark this, or was this on one of Ryan Clark's shows or podcasts?
That is a
I
great
think the reporting
question.
is that he told Ryan Clark.
So now Ryan Clark's breaking news.
Because I was trying to find that too. It's seeming like Ryan Clark is the guy just
Dude, he's coming after Schefter.
Yeah.
He's coming after everybody.
Yeah, I guess so.
Well, I don't necessarily agree with
it's a co-report. I'm reading now ESPN's Adam Schefter and Ryan Clark.
Oh yeah, see.
So what does that mean?
It means that Schefter has it in his contract that he gets a percentage of all
anything broken.
That sucks.
That's what I'm saying. He never found. When will there be a Shams to Adam Schefter's Woj.
Yes.
We need that.
Yeah, because like the Peliceros of the world, the Rappaport, they're there, but it's not on the same level.
All right, I'll just do it.
Yeah,
I'll
Nate,
be
just
it.
do it,
I'll
dude.
just do it.
Come
Just
on.
do it. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, how do you guys feel, Brandon Ayuk? Hey, I want to talk.
There was also that
Good sign or bad sign?
There was that report too that the Niners will only consider trade talks once Ayuk starts asking for Justin Jefferson money. I don't know. Did you guys see that?
No.
'Cause I think I saw this yesterday. So apparently he hasn't asked for that yet, that crazy amount. I think that kind of throws into the or gives viability to the Amon-Ra money he wants, which is around that $32 million range.
Right.
So I mean,
and everyone keeps calling it Amon-Ra money. If I'm not mistaken, isn't that really close to Tyreek Hill money too? Isn't Amon-Ra making? I mean, it's right there.
The
with
difference
Tyreek.
is that Tyreek Hill deal was done a couple years ago at this point now. So I think that's just more the direct comparison where the market is now.
Sure.
So I think if Tyreek Hill did that deal today in this league, he's making that Justin Jefferson money for sure. Because the market has exploded.
Right.
I don't. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, that's a good call.
But I think it's great that Ayuk wanted to come to San Francisco and kind of get this beef or business out of the way. I think that means he's motivated to go. If the Niners are willing to hear him out, I'm every day. It just seems like I don't know if this is going to happen.
I'm viewing this, and now this is not a Niner fan saying this, but I'm viewing this as, especially with the way that this was packaged as a report, kind of sounds to me like Ayuk is getting fed up. And rightfully so or not, like to me, by writing this is starting to get personal and then saying I'm calling the meeting, that to me sounds like somebody who said, I'm sick and tired of all this like reporting and back and forth and this and this. This is what I want. And you're either willing to do it or not. Like to me, you call a meeting when you have things prepared for what you want to present.
Right.
And to me, that shows a bit of, okay, I'm getting tired of this. This is how I'm feeling. Where are you at? Let's move forward from there.
Yeah, it feels like it's, hey, we know what it is. I'm not with the stalemate.
Yeah.
Because the Niners are just sitting there. The Niners don't
like,
really
okay,
have to do anything.
Season's around the corner.
Exactly. And the Niners, I think, were prepared to feel this thing out. And then if Debo walks.
Yeah.
But they're cool going into this season with 8,000 receivers. Yep. So really, it has to be Ayuk to say, well, I'm not cool with this.
Yeah.
And they still could say, sorry, we don't have to do anything. That you signed on the dotted line.
What's up, Slick Rick?
Yeah, we
exactly.
got a guy.
Yeah, Carlo.
We got a guy, and he's ready. And I saw him in the jersey too. He looked good in that jersey, didn't he?
Yeah.
He's overrated, underrated, properly rated.
He's all of
At
it.
the same
He is all of it. Coming up next.
Real quick, I just want to make a quick note here.
Yeah.
Side note too: the Giants tonight everybody will be wearing number 24.
That's awesome.
That's really cool.
Maybe they can get a W. Did they finally get one?
I don't believe so. They got almost perfect hit by Sonny Gray yesterday.
No, seriously, Chris. Now look.
I don't think they have won since Willie
passed last week.
Yeah.
Okay, and it might have been on that Tuesday or what? No, because it
happened during the game of the Cubs game, right?
Yes, but I was trying to remember because they played twice. It was either on Tuesday or Wednesday. They lost both of those games.
Yep.
Okay. It might have been the day before. I feel like it was the day before. They lost on that Wednesday. They lost the actual game. They lost on Saturday. They lost yesterday. They are winless since the passing of Willie
Passed
Mays.
on Tuesday. It was on the Tuesday.
He passed away on Tuesday. 1, 2, 3, 4. They are 0-5 since Willie Mays passed away.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Yeah, I mean, got to get it done.
Tonight's the night if you're all wearing number 24.
Yeah. And I believe it would make sense. I'd assume they're playing in San Francisco tonight.
Yes, it's the first home game since. It has
the
to
vibes are going to be
happen.
incredible. It should be really cool. And did you see too, real quick? Sorry, I know the Rickford game the Rickwood game was the other day. Did you see the Giants had the watch party for everybody? You could watch from the outfield.
Yes,
and it looked awesome. They had like
see
Willie's statues or a big 24 out there, so it looked like a great time. But yeah, they got to get this done.
Come on, Giants.
Come on.
I mean, we're not asking for much here. It's just this is the
feels,
legend
man.
here.
Yeah,
you wearing that 24. Figure it out.
Yeah.
Coming up next, the Drive Guys crosstalk. Whitey Gleason, Kyle Draper, Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Malik Monk plays here.
Started left, goes right, steps back, launches the three. Nothing but net. Oh, that was just filthy. Oh, my, that was sweet.
Sactown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
My good friends, Dr. Jack Friedlander and Dr. Pash in Roseville and in San Francisco are offering not only confidence, not only security, but also the ability, if you ain't insecure, to go from the roster to the all-star team. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about UpsizeMatters.com. Time after time, vote after vote, circumference, or as we call it, girth, is consistently ranked as the most important attribute. And Dr. Jack and Dr. Pash can give you a free consultation. The procedure can be done on the same day as your consultation with immediate results. It's non-surgical. It's virtually pain-free, safe, effective, long-lasting, semi-permanent, and doctor-performed. For more information, go to UpsizeMatters.com. Go to UpsizeMatters.com. Make that change. Make the all-star team. Get your girth on.
Slash presents Serpent Festival, a celebration of the blues. Friday, July 12th at the venue at Thunder Valley, starring Slash, Warren Haynes Band, Samantha Fish, and Eric Gales. It's gonna be a steep climb. Don't miss an all-star night of blues Friday, July 12th at the venue at Thunder Valley. For tickets, visit ThunderValleyResort.com. Serpent Festival.
Get ready for the Kia Vacaville Summer Sticker Sales Event. This is your chance to make it a summer to remember with incredible deals on select 2024 Sportage and Sorento vehicles. Kia Vacaville is offering an amazing 1.9% APR for up to 48 months for well-qualified buyers. Or you'll get $1,000 bonus cash on specialty tag 2024 Sportage and Sorento models. It's the perfect time to upgrade your ride and start your summer adventures. Imagine cruising down the highway in your new Kia from Kia Vacaville, enjoying the advanced features and comfort of the Sportage or Sorento. Whether you're planning a road trip or just driving around town, these vehicles are designed to elevate your experience. But don't wait too long. These unbeatable deals won't last forever. Your adventure starts now at Kia Vacaville, where every journey is an adventure. Visit them today and find the perfect vehicle for your summer plans. Model availability, lease options, and features may vary. Please visit Kia Vacaville for more details.
Since 1776, July 4th has been celebrated as the birth of American independence, but it's been a federal holiday only since 1941. Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. It was a mere 7 years later when the Keys family opened their first Naturewood store in Sacramento. And I guess Northern Californians have been celebrating ever since. We celebrate an incredible selection of furniture brands made right here in America. We celebrate the kind of generous hometown hospitality that was important to Walter Keys in 1948 and continues with the Keys family and the Naturewood Home Furnishing staff today. And we celebrate the kind of quality that's been synonymous with Naturewood for all these 76 years. Look for Made in America brands like Stanton, Sam Moore, Stickley, Hilltop Hickory, Simply Amish, and more during the Naturewood 4th of July sale event. Find the furniture that you will celebrate for years to come. Naturewood Home Furnishings, off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
Hey, what's up? Kyle Draper for Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. I've had my new Mercedes-Benz EQS SUV for about 6 months now, and it's still the best car driving experience that I've ever had. And I got some news for you. Mercedes-Benz of Stockton doesn't just have cars or SUVs. They also have Sprinter vans, and they have special rates starting at 4.9% APR and an $8,000 discount on over 30 vans in stock. So head on down there right now to Mercedes-Benz of Stockton and check out their new Sprinter vans. Just a short drive right off the 5 in Stockton.
Live and local. This is Sactown Sports.
Chris, earlier in the show, I never got around to this. And the drive guys, they might be still driving.
I'm sort of LeBron James, of the station.
Interesting that drops, and they are nowhere to be found. Now, why would that happen?
Or like the Kawhi Leonard.
Chris, I was getting roasted as we just posted on our social media about the appearance that I will be doing at the Public House.
Yes.
And, everybody
on Wednesday during the draft.
On Wednesday, that's right, 5 to 7, I'll be in the building.
Ooh.
And Chris, I was getting roasted on the Sac Chat.
Oh, no.
And people were basically saying, I said, hey, take a picture with me and this, that, and the third. And people started saying, oh, wow, a picture with, Kevin Hart, a picture with Draymond Green. I was getting shredded.
Yeah, you could.
Pretty good there.
Well, my thought was instantly that we could recreate the Cam Newton picture.
No,
which has been lost in time.
No.
Oh my God.
No.
That'd be great.
I need to
Who's
throw
gonna
that
stand
up
on a
on
chair?
the YouTube. That was crazy.
That was nuts. Just the most disrespectful selfie.
Yeah, basically, if you are not aware of what's going on here, basically we were in Vegas for the Super Bowl. It's not that funny, Nate.
It was
pretty funny.
We were in
You were
Vegas.
so stoked about that picture.
We were in Vegas
I was
for the
like,
Super
dude,
Bowl.
please don't post
You
that.
probably can still find it if you Google Alan Stiles Cam Newton.
I'm
Twitter
gonna try.
picture. Basically, Cam Newton, we were both in school at the same time. Cam Newton's been my guy, man.
Yeah.
And I loved watching him at Auburn. So we were in Vegas for the Super Bowl, and he was walking around, and I wanted to take a picture with him. I was trying to get him on the show.
Mhm.
He was in his hat this was during his Brock Purdy hate.
Yes.
Or perceived hate. So I was really trying to get him on the show because we are the Niners Sacramento affiliate.
It works, by the way, Googling it.
It does work.
Yes, if you want to see it.
And I said, hey, Cam, just in case I can't get him on the show, hey, Cam, can I get a picture with you? So I'm trying to.
It's just crazy that the Google does work.
It's such a funny picture.
I'm trying to take the picture, right? And I got my, my arms out as far as they can go. And then Cam says, oh, don't worry, bro, I got you. He takes a photo, but the problem was it's the angles are just
angle
off.
is crazy.
Dude, you look.
Dude, this is.
You look like you belong in Willy Wonka's factory.
It's not that bad.
No, it's rough. It looks like you were Photoshopped.
It's not that bad. Chris is trying to put it. Chris,
It's that you're like looking.
it's on the YouTube.
Oh,
You're
it is?
looking
Okay.
through the camera too.
Chris, turn it to the YouTube.
Oh my!
It's not that bad.
It's bad. Hold on, Chris. Keep it there. I'm gonna zoom in.
It's
Keep
so
it there.
incredible.
It's not that bad.
It's just so. Thank you, Mr. Newton.
You guys are the same age.
It's not that bad.
It's just great. So whoever recreates the
Keep
picture,
holding that.
maybe you'll have the fast track to
It's
get
not
a family
that bad.
4-pack of California Classic tickets
Brother.
if you can somehow manage to get
Wow.
Alan to recreate the.
His
infamous-
head is twice your size.
Look at
It's
this.
not that
This is-
bad.
and it's the
All right,
hair.
Chris.
Somebody
He really
saying
just-
baby Styles.
he
Come
just-
on now. Come on, Brandon.
He just really. didn't
Brandon, you're
have
going
to
in
do
timeout with Steven. Come on, man.
Oh,
Well,
brother.
It's just
Wednesday,
crazy. Anyways, yeah,
slide
Wednesday.
through, and if someone says it looks like an elementary school student, come on, man.
Oh,
It's
man.
just crazy because, of course, it had to be the biggest dude on the freaking
Oh, of course,
planet.
but he does that to
He
everyone.
does it to everybody. It was so intentional,
You
too.
got sunned, man.
He did not have to like Cam. You're already 6'5". Just keep it at
Jess-
shoulder level.
Jess Escoto, it's pretty bad. That's it. That's it.
I'm also just noticing,
AB916. That's pretty bad,
dude,
man.
it's crazy.
If you're driving, yes, you can Google Alan Stiles Cam Newton Twitter.
The first thing that came up was some take you had
Yeah,
about the
some take
15-1
Oh yeah, that popped.
Clearly.
Before y'all try to roast Cam Newton. This
Yeah.
man went 15-1.
Yeah. So
Okay. So what?
It's incredible. Wow, that tweet did pop 9.8K.
that's why I can't.
of
That's why
likes,
we're
yeah.
boys.
That
Yeah,
picture
right.
should have popped.
No, it shouldn't have.
Brother, your eyes, you straight up are looking through the camera. Where were you looking? Into like a light?
It doesn't matter.
It
now.
doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You might as well be looking into the sun at that point.
It doesn't matter
Just
now.
right outside of Starbucks.
Cam's got this little smirk on his face. He knows what he's
He
doing.
knows what he's doing.
The outfit is terrible too for Cam. It's
Yeah.
just he's got a bow tie on with a dress shirt that's like the collars popped up,
Can
and
I
then he
have
has
your
a
hat?
shirt over. It looks like somebody just gave him like tons of outfits to throw on at once.
All
That's
right,
the
Chris.
Brock Purdy hater
incredible.
shirt.
It is. It is. It's the
It
game
is.
changer.
Game changer
Yeah.
versus game manager. All right, Chris.
All right.
Your last thoughts. JJ Redick has his presser going on.
Yeah.
And what do you think, JJ Redick? Because I'm starting to be convinced. Everything you said when it first broke about the Lakers thinking that they're going to be his their Eric Spoelstra, even though Eric Spoelstra was in the building, not just podcasting, but they believe that JJ Redick, basketball savant, basketball genius, he can pull this off, and the X's and O's and all the coaching stuff will come when it needs to arrive. So last thoughts on JJ Redick, whether or not he will be successful as the Lakers head coach.
My first thought is I'm already tired of JJ already made a joke of, I don't know if you guys heard this or not, but I've never coached in the NBA before. So I'm getting ready for when they're like, whatever, 4-0 or whatever. And he's like, hey, yeah, this is pretty good for a first-time coach, like for somebody who only coached elementary school kids, right?
That.
So there's going to be a lot of that. I'm already pre-annoyed by that. I think it's going to be a roller coaster, as is everything with this Lakers situation. I mean, I think there's going to be good moments. I think there's going to be moments where the Lakers and Laker fans are going to be taking victory laps. And then I ultimately think that at the end of the day, there's a lot of things that JJ Redick just doesn't know. And it's not because he's dumb. It's not because he can't figure it out. It's just when you're not in the situation, when you haven't been an assistant coach, when you haven't been in locker rooms in a couple years, and I'm not saying JJ's completely clueless, but you don't know the kind of conversations that coaches have with assistants, how they delegate things, and just everything that goes into coaching that you just wouldn't think about. All the ways in which you're dragged in different directions. Hey, the owner wants to take you on a meeting somewhere because they're just random things. You'd be surprised at how many different directions coaches are pulled. I just think JJ's a little unprepared for it. And I think that there's a little bit of hubris, or a lot of bit of hubris, that goes on with that situation. And I think ultimately it's going to be how all Lakers situations end up, and they're going to hate him. By the end of it, it might not be at the end of this year, it might be at the end of next year, but they're going to hate him.
But we even asked, I said, Chris, who is the last coach off the top of your head, last NBA coach to finish their contract, right? This thing, it never ends well in general, but are there some good times along the way, and how high are the highs versus how low are the lows? Okay, that has been Stiles and Watkins. Be sure to check us out on YouTube. Run it back if you were late to joining the party. You can also listen to us Sactown Sports app. You have the Drive Guys up next. Whitey Gleason, Kyle Draper. Until tomorrow, secure the bag, light the beam.
Did you miss any part of our live local